has catapulted the Astros to the top of the American League West. But tonight, their winning mixture will face the ultimate test against the pitcher with the best ERA in the American League. Can the Astros find the rocket fuel to avoid a second straight disappointing loss to the A's? The game is on, starting now. From Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Root Sports brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, it's Game 2 of this three-game series. The Astros meet the Oakland A's. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown along with Alan Ashby. Julia Morales joins us in just a few minutes. Last night, the Astros' 5-game winning streak came to a halt. The A's beat them 2-1, holding them to 2 hits. Now tonight, the Astros face Sonny Gray. Ash?
Well, it doesn't sound like the assignment's going to get any easier tonight for the hitters. Facing Sonny Gray says you're going to be facing one of the league's very best. In fact, he leads the league in ERA and WHIP. That says not many runners on base and not many are coming around to score. Sonny Gray is a big strikeout pitcher. He does throw strikes, doesn't put many on base himself. So it's going to be a very tough assignment for the bats this evening.
For the Astros, Roberto Hernandez has been quite competitive in the number 5 spot on the order.
Done a really nice job, not only this year for the Astros, but going back in his last 20 starts, as you can see, averaging almost 6 innings a start. ERA has been just fine. In fact, good at 380. The opponent's batting average is down to 245. And I would say that Roberto has given quality efforts each time he has run to the mound. So he's going to need one tonight to be able to give his teammates a chance to beat the Oakland A's and Sonny Gray.
Coming up, lancing through, the Astros' newest pitching sensation, harried and thrusted through his first major league start. How's he feeling the day after? Julia Morales finds out when we return.
sports, the Astros hosting the A's in Game 2 of this 3-game set. And we saw an exciting debut last night. Our Kubota pitching performance. Lance McCullers, who's with me now, did a great job in his debut. I'm sure there were nerves. We saw you come out. There were a lot of pitches in those first 2 innings for you, but then settled down. What was it behind, or what was behind you becoming more efficient as the game went on?
I think settling in a little bit. Just realizing that I need to do a little bit better job of being more efficient, help the team, get deeper in the game, try to help the bullpen out and give us the best chance to win.
4 2/3 for you last night, but A.J. Hinch saying today the 4 in front of that doesn't mean anything bad. How did you feel about your performance?
I felt good. I mean, the second inning there was really the only inning that I wish I could kind of go back and have a little restart button on. And it was really after I got 2 outs. I think once I got the 2 outs in the second, I pressed a little bit, was really trying to roll that inning over quickly, had a guy on second. So if I could go back and kind of fix that inning, then I think everything else went really well.
You got that first career strikeout. You got 5 strikeouts last night. Did you have a big league moment where you thought, hey, I'm really here?
Yeah, it was when I was putting my jersey on in the locker room. It was I was in there for the exhibition game, and I had my name on a jersey and that kind of stuff. But I knew that I wasn't here as a big leaguer. But yesterday, when I was putting it on in the locker room and I walked out here and saw my family and friends, that was kind of like my big league moment.
A.J. Hinch announcing today that you would get another start in Detroit. Your thoughts of moving forward and getting another shot with this team? Yeah,
really excited. Detroit's someone that my dad pitched, and so I'm really excited to be able to pitch there. A little history, and just give this team another chance to win. I feel like if I'm in the zone and I'm efficient like I was yesterday, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, that I can really help this team win.
Congratulations on your debut. We look forward to your next start.
Thank you.
That's Lance McCullers. Exciting stuff for him. But the league's top home-running hitting team needs to get the bats cranking today against the American League's top pitcher, Springer and company, take on Sonny Gray. Lineup's first pitch coming up next.
Close to each other, but yeah. Is up. The Astros are 5-2 on the homestand. As he goes to the mound, he takes a 1-3 record of 4.12 ERA for his 8th start as an Astro. And he'll be facing a team which is 3rd in the league in runs scored. The Oakland A's start their lineup with left fielder Coco Crisp. Crisp is followed by the shortstop Marcus Semien batting second with Josh Reddick in right field. Billy Butler's the DH and the cleanup man. It's Stephen Vogt who's leading the league in runs batted in and doing very well in slugging as well. He is is the number 5 hitter and the catcher. Max Muncy at first base. Brett Laurie at third. Sam Fuld in center field with a great catch last night on George Springer. Eric Sogard, the second baseman.
On the mound for the Astros tonight, it is the veteran right-hander Roberto Hernandez. He's just 1-3 on the year with an ERA at 4.12. He's had plenty of work through the years against the Oakland A's. 14 games, 13 of them as a starter. He's 5-7. And the ERA at 4.84. He's got to be good tonight. We said it earlier, but he's going to have to be good against Sonny Gray to have a chance for this Astros club to beat the A's now and not allow them to win 2 straight here in Houston.
And you see that last start against the Blue Jays. He is facing Oakland for the first time since April of 2013 when he beat the Athletics 8-1. Coco Crisp gets it started with Valbuena on the grass at third. Carter shortened up at first base. And his ball 1 down and into Crisp. Crisp off to a slow start after having surgery on his right elbow. 0-45 with no homers, no runs batted in. He has had some impactful games against the Astros in his career. And he is ahead 2 balls, no strikes. Andy Fletcher's the home plate umpire tonight. Last night's game featured some problems with the pitchers finding the strike zone. A total of 11 walks in the game last night. Off-speed pitch goes to 2-1 now, and that's been a beauty for Hernandez.
A lot of sinking action on that fastball, but the first 3 pitches have all appeared to be fastballs at 85 and 84 miles an hour.
That's fouled away. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hernandez, 5-7 lifetime against this Oakland team, has made 6 starts in a row, going at least 6 innings. He's been in that spot in the rotation, which has not rewarded him with run support most of the time, for whatever reason. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He's had a 2-0 loss, a 3-2 loss, no decision, in which he gave up 3 runs in 6 innings. So Hernandez 1-3 despite a respectable ERA, just above 4. There's a leadoff walk, and Crisp has reached for Marcus Semien.
No way to defend the walk, but defensively for the club tonight, Preston Tucker in left, Colby Rasmus in center, George Springer in right. On the infield left side, Luis Valbuena and Jonathan Villar. Jose Altuve and Chris Carter make up the right side, and Jason Castro is the lone man behind the plate.
Semien had a hit and a walk in last night's game. It's a sultry day outside. Semien's on a 6-game hitting streak. There's strike 1 to him at 3:14. He's gone deep 6 times while driving in 15. 24-year-old shortstop has had a good offensive season and miserable defensively with 15 errors. Apparently he's been able to separate the two.
Can the Oakland A's?
Boy, they've made errors in 15 games in a row now. Runner takes off. Here's a throw from Castro to Altuve. Stolen base for Crisp, his first in his first attempt this season.
It looked like Jason Castro did all he could do, but look at the jump here, and off-speed pitch to boot. When it's all said and done, no shot to get a guy who's stolen a number of bags through his career.
I bet he has. Now Semien has a 1-1 count. And he takes ball 2, low and outside. Crisp has done a lot of running in his career. That's steal number 298 for him, and he's been successful 80% of the time in his career. Josh Reddick is on deck.
Wouldn't lose sight of him at second base either.
That's in for a strike, evening the count at 2-2. The A's are averaging 4.5 runs per game. They're 4th in total bases in the American League. They won 14 and lost 26. They will go on after tomorrow's finale here to Tampa Bay on this road trip, coming off a 1-5 homestand. That's a strikeout. 1 out for Hernandez.
And that was a really good changeup, dropping it all the way down to 79 miles an hour. And there was nice running, sinking action on the pitch. Watch this ball dive. Very effective.
Josh Reddick is the batter. Reddick at .317 has 6 homers, 28 runs batted in, ranking him in a 6th place tie in the American League. On a very good start for Reddick, who was 0 for 4 in last night's game. The infield shifts around, playing him to pull. Ball 1 in the dirt. Tomorrow, Dallas Keuchel will start the finale of this homestand for the Astros. It's a 1:10 start with Jesse Hahn taking the ball for Oakland.
It looks as the game starts now for Roberto Hernandez that the fastball's not here at the moment. It's tough to make things work off speed and with the changeup when you don't have a fastball to back it up.
Reddick is 2 for 7 against Hernandez with a homer. Last night, a lot of these same fans saw the major league debut of the young right-hander Lance McCullers Jr. We just heard from him earlier. There's a strike, 1-1.
I think there were a lot of us who really liked what we saw. Obviously, he wanted to get deeper in the ball game. Rough second inning, as Lance acknowledged, but he did tighten it up after that. And he, though he lost a little bit of velocity on the fastball, he pitched well.
Swing and a miss there. Good movement. It's 1-2. Yeah, A.J. Hinch thought that he learned something about taking a little off that fastball to get strikes as the game wore on for Lance last night.
Yeah, we commented about that last night. It's great when you can get some outs. You never want to get to that point where they become fat pitches and guys are juicing them. But he got 8 ground ball outs versus 4 balls hit in the air for outs.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And he will be starting in Detroit. That's a 4-game series starting Thursday afternoon. The Astros traveling after tomorrow's afternoon game. Scott Feldman and David Price will mix it up in that first encounter at Comerica Park Thursday afternoon. The 2-2 is fouled away. The A's on the road are 9-12. They've lost 5 of their last 6 road games. The Astros have climbed above 500 at home. 13-10 is their home record with this 5-2 homestand. Bob Melvin's club winning a 1-run encounter last night, 2-1. They had been 1-13 in 1-run games prior to that one. Reddick strikes out. That's 2 punch outs in a row.
So far, that changeup extremely effective for Roberto Hernandez. Another one right here to record the strikeout, and just has the hitter fooled out in front. And then that diving action is quite helpful. Off speeds versus lefty, 31% of the time changeups. That over the previous 2 seasons. This year, upping that figure, and that could be just part of losing the fastball a little bit. As you age, you turn in that direction, and you have to rely on the off-speed pitches.
Billy Butler looks at it. It's strike 1 to Butler. At .274, Billy has 4 homers, 21 runs batted in. Last night he was 2 for 4. You mean that's a part of the aging process?
I hear it. It hasn't happened to us yet, but it's coming.
The runner took off for third, and the pitch was fouled. Interesting, with 2 outs, that Crisp would be going to try to steal third. And the old rule is in the book, so to speak.
Yeah, sometimes that's viewed as a stat builder, but it does improve the chances to score, just not to the extent that most clubs are willing to take it.
Yeah. Well, the rule is better make it.
Do not make that last out at third base, huh?
Ironclad rule, right? Well, not necessarily.
Not exactly.
Not in all cases. But, you know, he's a proficient base stealer over the course of his career.
He's a guy I would figure has a pretty good feel as to whether he's got a bag stolen.
Right. off the plate for a ball. And do you really enhance scoring a run being at third compared to at second with 2 outs in an inning? How much do you enhance that?
And that's the point, and why a lot of players sit around and kind of evaluate that as a stat builder.
Certainly he could score from third on something like a wild pitch, whereas from second that would not be the case. Grounded foul.
Tough as a manager, though. You got a veteran player who has, in good part, made his career build around his speed game. And what do you tell him? We really don't want you running in that scenario, even though the guy might be successful. It's a challenge, I think, for managers to deal with players and what they're choosing to do. For the youngster, it's really easy to be able to talk to him, lay down the law.
Well, with Coco Crisp, probably don't say anything. Let him exercise his own judgment. Melvin played the game for a long time, and he's managed for a while, too. Foul ball.
Another one of those catchers that's turned into a really good one as a skipper.
Working, Bert. Come on, kid.
I would say A.J. Hinch is well on that path.
Come on now.
A.J.'s a master communicator.
He's really good. He's got a great attitude. I think he understands sensitivities with his own players and everybody else for that matter.
Good sense of humor, too. Swing and a miss. Butler strikes out, and Hernandez, after walking the leadoff man, struck out the next 3. No score in Houston. Sonny Gray, dynamic right-hander. The Astros starting lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Jose Altuve leads off at second base. It's Luis Valbuena at third base. George Springer in right field. Evan Gattis the DH. Preston Tucker in left field. Colby Rasmus in center field. Chris Carter at first base. Jason Castro the catcher. Jonathan Villar at shortstop.
Sonny Gray on the hill. He's a youngster, but he is really talented. Has been highly effective in the major leagues. Currently leading the American League in ERA and WHIP. 8 starts this year, 4-1. You see that ERA. And lifetime against the Astros in 3 starts, 2-1. And 2.05 the ERA.
Yeah. Jose Altuve leads it off, trying to snap an 0 for 11. He's hit 200 on this homestand. There is ball 1. Those are not numbers associated with Jose Altuve very often. 316 for the season, 5 homers, and a club high 24 runs batted in. He's hit 400 against Oakland. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Sonny Gray was the 18th player drafted in the 2011 draft. He was born in Nashville, Tennessee, and went to Vanderbilt. He made his second major league start against the Astros in 2013. That's fouled away by Altuve. 2 balls and a strike, and he shackled the Astros 5-0 at Oakland in that 2013 start on 4 hits. Faced them only once last year and won that game. He had a 7-0 lead after 1 inning.
Already on the scene in the major leagues. Third year now, 23-14. So I think right away with a 2.76 ERA, it just says this guy is destined to be strong.
Fly ball at the right field line goes foul. 2-2. Sonny Gray has struck out at least 9 in each of his last 3 starts. His last start brought him no run support. He lost 2-0 to Boston, giving up 3 hits and 1 run in 7 innings. Reaching, Altuve pops it up. Eric Sogard over, and the second baseman handles it, 1 out.
Defensively behind Sonny Gray tonight for the Oakland A's, Coco Crisp, Sam Fuld, and Josh Reddick in the outfield. On the infield, left side, Brett Lawrie and Marcus Semien. Right side, Eric Sogard and Max Muncy, and Stephen Vogt, fine hitter and defensive catcher, does the work behind the plate.
Luis Valbuena is the third baseman and number 2 hitter. He got a rest against the lefty Drew Pomeranz last night. Valbuena's on a 5-game hitting streak. Up the middle and on through the shift. Semien was over on the shortstop side of second. Valbuena takes his hitting streak to 6 games.
Little Fister finds a hole. And a lot of times in this game, it's more about location than how hard you hit the ball. But you take every one of them. Not a one has ever been returned.
Right through the box for a single, getting George Springer to the plate. Springer was 0 for 1 with 3 walks last night. Crushed the ball to center field. Sam Fuld made a tremendous catch on it. He fouls that back for strike 1.
Good aggressive swing. By the way, over the last 5 starts for Sonny Gray, batting average against 158. He has been dynamite. He's 3-1 in that stretch and has not allowed a home run. And I think that's one of the figures with this Astros club relying so much on the long ball that they've got to be focused on a bit.
Springer swings at it, falls behind 0-2. Sonny Gray for the season in 56 innings has surrendered 1 home run. The slugging percentage against him is .221.
Slugging.
It's not much slugging, is it?
Not much at all.
Springer looks at one off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Looks like a little cut fastball action there on the outside edge.
Gray has been dominant within his own division. This year he's 4-0 with a 1.05 ERA in 6 starts against American League West opponents. Springer takes it, and it's 2-2 to George with Evan Gattis on deck. Let's go back to last year. 231 at this point to 188. And the batting average for balls in play, 294 last year. It's only 219. George takes that pitch, and it's 3-2 to George Springer. That would suggest that his batting average is bound to come up, that he's been hitting in tough luck with only a 219 batting average on balls in play. And strikeout percentage is down from last year. Line drive percentage is up.
Yeah, that's kind of intriguing when so few balls are actually being put in play by George. I think typically we think that, okay, second year, you will have had a learning experience in that first year, and now you start to move forward. It doesn't naturally progress that way. And George is still looking for that aha moment this year.
And that 231 average last year was for 295 at bats. But George with 24 walks can get on base and cause some damage without getting a hit.
Yeah, I wonder, is there a correlation there, though, where you start drawing walks and become a little less inclined to swing at pitches you can handle?
Well, there's one. That pitch clearly out of the zone, and George took it for a walk. 2 men off for Evan Gattis.
Yeah, I don't think there's any argument you can make about saying, well, you don't want to draw walks. You want to be on base. But I think when you're talking George Springer, guys like that in the heart of the order, you want them also driving in runs. and maybe more importantly.
Gaddis with 7 homers, 21 runs batted in, has a 183 batting average. Evan takes it, and it is strike 1 to Evan, who last night had a sac fly for the Astros' only run. That was in the first. He was 0 for 3.
Evan Gaddis has a few words with the home plate umpire, feeling like maybe this ball was not in the strike zone, and I think his feelings may be accurate.
In the dirt. Vogt stops it. Gaddis is second among designated hitters and homers in the American League with 6, and 4th in runs batted in with 19. Some teams use the rotating players for the DH spot. He's been the DH primarily for the Astros. Preston Tucker on deck. Bouncer goes foul. In the career of Sonny Gray against the American League West, he's 16-5 with a 2.02 ERA.
And I think just looking at his stuff, you can see why he has a chance to be successful every time he runs out there. The fastball has been pretty steadily right around 94. He's got good action on pitches, great command of the strike zone. Seems to know what he's doing.
Up the middle and fielded by Semien. He steps on the bag, throws high to first base, safe at first. He got the force on Springer for out number 2. Looked as if he was scrambling on his footwork, and the throw sailed high, allowing Gaddis to reach.
You know, there's an old saying for pitchers, and I don't know if it comes in precise words, but when there's a routine play, it's got to be made. And I think on a major league level, the viewpoint on that play would be, once you've made the play with the glove and stepped on the bag, it becomes routine. And so one more out is a must now for Sonny Gray.
Preston Tucker bats with runners on at the corners. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Gaddis is not being held on. Tucker looks at ball 1. Tucker had 320. Has no homers, 3 runs batted in. Preston has had 25 major league at bats. He faced Sonny Gray in college. Preston at Florida and Sonny at Vanderbilt. Bouncer to second. Sogard with the toss to Semien, getting the force on Gaddis. No runs, a hit, 2 men stranded. No score after 1.
At Minute Maid Park with the Astros 9-inning lunch break tomorrow at 1:10. Purchase your tickets by visiting astros.com/lunchbreak or calling 1-877-9-ASTROS. We saw the changeup help Roberto Hernandez to a couple of strikeouts in that first inning, and facing a lot of lefties in this A's lineup. Pitching coach Brent Strom said about Roberto that he's got to elevate his fastball today in order to complement that sinker, get the hitter's eyes up in the zone. But guys, you know, it's not just Roberto that we see this style with. Pitching coach Brent Strom integrating that with a lot of these Astros pitchers.
Yeah, and it kind of goes against the grain of what we've heard from other people. There's strike one to Stephen Vogt. With 30 runs batted in, he's tied for the AL lead. He has 9 homers and a .318 average. Ground ball, the shift is on. Here's the play to the left by VR, and VR makes that short throw. You know, Rich Dower has worked long and hard with VR. VR has turned himself into a much more reliable infielder.
It's getting there, isn't it? And watching this play, watch the extra work with the feet. 1, 2. A little crow hop going a couple of times, making sure he gets in a position. I think there's been a viewpoint previously on Jonathan and a lot of infielders that there's a little style going on ahead of substance, and right now it's substance ahead of style.
True. Max Muncy, rookie, takes ball 1. 240 for Muncy, 1 homer, 3 runs batted in. The A's are missing first baseman Ike Davis, who's on the disabled list. Muncy getting a chance to fill in. They play him to pull. The pitch is ball 2. Let's go back to Brent Strom's approach, though, that Julia mentioned. And he does. We've seen it work wonders for Colin McHugh as he works the top of the strike zone.
He's got that type of fastball. Roberto has a sinking fastball. Sometimes that can become that flat one up there that can get hammered. But yes, I clearly Brent Strom, his way of thinking is different from a lot of guys from the past, and it has been good.
Now 3-0 for Muncy as we look in from the right field corner. And he takes a 4-pitch walk. Second walk for Hernandez. He's walked 14 in 44 innings. So he's kept that part of the game very manageable. In fact, the Astros pitching staff leads the American League in fewest walks. Muncy aboard for Brett Lawrie. And the former Blue Jay with 2 homers, 15 runs batted in, has a .255 batting average. Double play setup for VR now Altuve. That is strike 1. Lawrie got one of the key hits in last night's game. That gave Oakland the 2-1 lead. A single to right field with the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Brett drove in 38 last year in an injury-filled season in Toronto. Fly ball out to right center field. A long run here. That one's in for extra bases. Colby Rasmus plays it off the wall. Here's the go-ahead, and the runner coming to the plate. VR with a throw to Castro. Short hop play. Wow! Great play by Castro, tagging out Muncy. That throw came from VR, but it was tough to handle. And Castro took it on the short hop and then moved to his left to tag Muncy.
Dead on. And one thing you can see here now, when VR does get his hands on the baseball, and it's going to take a little while to get to that point as Colby does a nice job, but Jonathan VR is the guy with the strong arm. This is not right on the money. In fact, very tough for Castro, who makes a great play. But Jonathan VR has an extremely strong throwing arm, and he's the guy you want getting his hands on the ball. Well, great job by Jason Castro.
Rasmus gets his first outfield assist, then VR guns it onto the plate. An 8-6-2 play for out number 2. Lawrie with a double on at second base with 2 outs now for Sam Fuld, who made the play of the game last night, robbing George Springer up on Towles Hill. There's ball 1. Fuld at 194 with no homers, has 5 runs batted in. He was 0 for 3 with a walk in last night's game. A strike makes it 1-1.
Another pick. Jason has already made the fine pick, and clearly the tag is applied. Had there been a missed call at the plate, that would have been a very easy one to overturn. Muncy was trying to plead his case, but not even close.
1 ball, 2 strikes. A play like that by a catcher, so difficult with all that gear on and trying to pick a short hop throw out of the dirt with a catcher's mitt.
Yeah, but you have to factor in the great hands that Major League catchers have.
Okay.
That really was a fine play by Jason. But again, even though the throw from VR was offline, you always have to consider arm strength. Colby just gets it back in. They get it to the right man, and that is a gun that comes from VR.
Good technique by VR. He had his body turned, and that is the proper technique for the infielder. Try to get it in throwing position as he receives the throw from the outfielder to cut down on the release time.
We talked when VR first hit the big league scene. Tools in place. He is loaded.
Ground ball to the right side for Carter. And the toss and a close call. Safe at first. Throw to the plate. Castro with another tag. Wow, he tags out 2 in 1 inning. Good alertness by the pitcher, Roberto Hernandez, to turn immediately and throw home to get Brett Lawrie trying to score, and now they'll review it apparently, Ash.
Yeah, I said on the previous play that it was not close. There was no way Muncy was right in his assessment. I don't know in this case with Brett Lawrie. Lawrie gets the feet to the plate, and Hernandez is just very slow getting to first base. Good throw to the plate, but did the feet get there before the tag? I would have to say it's in debate right now. Well, he may have. All you can do if you're Jason Castro is get that glove down as quickly as possible.
That was a close play.
That was a close play. Get the glove down immediately.
Tagged him on the thigh, but the question being, where was his foot at the time?
Yeah, this is going to be really intriguing, because I can understand Brett Laurie's opinion, and he may be right. Umpires will make that determination now.
It's almost to the point that you wonder if A.J. Hinch would have the call at first base reviewed.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's what they're talking about right now. Did we see anything definitive there at first base either?
Now, we haven't had this kind of a situation, but let's say the call is overturned at the plate. Could A.J. then go out and ask for the call at first to be reviewed, or does he have to do it right now? I think he has to do it now.
Is that right?
I believe so.
Well,
oh, his foot is over home plate, Ash. Hasn't touched the plate yet, has it? Or has it?
I don't think it has. And I think if that one frame is seen, there's no way you can overturn that call.
Or is the spike touching the plate there? Let's see the call at first now. Okay, that's clearly safe.
Yeah. Yeah, Sam Full clearly outruns Hernandez to the bag. Yeah, from that one frame we had, and it may be a one-frame play, I think Jason Castro beats Brett Lawrie to the plate. Right there. And I just don't see how you can overturn with that view.
Exactly. With that evidence, it's really hard to overturn the call.
Yep. I don't think you can overturn that.
Well, we'll see. Still waiting for a decision from New York.
You know what? At this moment, while they try to determine what they're going to come up with, yeah, foot above the plate. But I was just going to say, I love that baseball has tried to get the calls right. It's so impactful in games, and you get to the end of the year and a team wins by one game. It should be like this. And so I applaud the game for trying to get these calls right. But I think in this case, the right call is out at the plate.
System has worked very well. And especially with the fans in the ballparks being allowed to see the replays, so they're not kept without being abreast of what happened there. They can look at it themselves. Still waiting, and now we get a call. And the call is out. Jason Castro tags out 2 runners at home plate in the inning. And it's no runs, and the ruling is hit for full, so no runs, 2 hits, and a man left. And there you have it. In the middle of the second inning, no score. Astros.com. No score, bottom of the second inning in Houston. It's Colby Rasmus against Sonny Gray. Fly ball, left center field, wide open spaces. That drops in. It's knocked out towards center by Chris. Sam Fold picks it up. It's a double by Rasmus, leading off the home second. Seventh double of the year for Colby Rasmus, who jumped on the first pitch.
I'm just anxiously awaiting something to happen in tonight's game.
No action at all yet.
Yeah, just reach on out, flip one to left center field, and then take off running. Nice job. Jump on Sonny Gray early in the count. And that's one of the things we talked about with Colby Rasmus. He can hit it to left field in the air. He just doesn't put many, if any, to this point on the ground on the left side.
Chris Carter takes, and there's ball one to Carter. 160 for Carter, 6 homers, 16 runs batted in. Carter is 1 for 7 against Gray. He's driven in a couple against Sonny. He was 0 for 2 with a pair of walks last night. One ran in on him. 1 ball, 1 strike to Chris. Chris made some good plays at first base last night. Batting average, as you mentioned, against Sonny Gray is a low 186. It is tough to put together rallies against this right-hander. Bounce foul. Sometimes against a pitcher this good, it's a matter of doing those little things fundamentally to move runners and get productive outs rather than trying to bunch hits together. The slider, we understand, is a really good pitch for him.
Yeah, filthy put-away pitch. We were talking about the great early stuff last night of Lance McCullers. But when you're talking fastball velocity, Sonny Gray's right there. So he's got that type of high-end stuff with everything to go with it.
And he's got socks.
Yes, he does.
Too. You like the uniform socks?
Well, you know, I'm going to withhold my own comment, but Carlton Fisk just texted in, and he loves the look.
We understand from Ray Fosse, our buddy in the Oakland TV booth, that Sonny bought those online. Eric
Is
Sogard,
that right?
Yeah, Eric Sogard started the trend last year. Counts foul. Then he bought some for his teammates as well.
If Charlie Finley were still around, everybody would be wearing those.
And they'd all be paying for them themselves.
And go find yourself anything but a yellow baseball or orange or whatever it was.
Yeah, he tried those. It's a good look, though. Gray was 14-10 last year. He runs it in on Carter, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes now to Chris, the former Oakland A.
Running action on a 95-mile-an-hour heater.
Yeah, that's impressive, where he can put it on a right-handed batter down and in with that sharp movement. He was one of the best ground ball pitchers around last year. Carter grounds one foul, third base side. Jason Castro on deck. The Astros are facing Gray for the first time this season, even though this is the 3rd series between the two. This is the 8th game between Houston and Oakland. The Astros have won 4 of the first 7. But it wasn't Gray's turn to pitch when they met previously. That's right to the air, left field. They're getting up, and the Landry's Crawford boxes for a Carter 2-run homer. And the big fella's heating up. Number 7 for Carter. That's 18 runs batted in. Only the 2nd home run allowed by Gray in 57 innings.
Yeah, we were talking in the pregame, Brownie, about how did the Astros go about a game against Sonny Gray, who has not given up a home run in his last 5. And you said just 1 on the season. The Astros live and die by the home run a lot of the time. But there's the long ball early in the game.
Solid at bat by Carter. Worked the count full. He fouled off pitches, and then he rocked one to left. And Conger has a little refreshment for him.
You do not want your teammates going dehydrated.
Strike to Jason Castro. That's a big lift for the Astros once he gets it going. It's quite a ride. They saw that last year when he hit 37 bombs. Castro with 4 homers, 7 runs batted in is hitting .214. Carter now has 7 homers and 17 runs batted in the last 25 games. He went 14 games without a homer to start the year.
Okay, I keep playing this game with Chris Carter. We know there's been a lot of drought going on, but you mentioned 7 pitchers.
There's a hit to right field by Castro. 3 straight hits. You can't bunch hits off Sonny Gray.
No, you can't do it, so you've got to do something else. Apparently not tonight. But Chris Carter last year hit home runs numbers 7 and 8 as you watch this bomb to left field. 7 and 8 came in the 46th game of the year.
Okay.
That was May 28th. And so he's ahead of that pace.
He's ahead of that pace. They had a good view. And now it's Jonathan Villar batting. Castro at first. Ball 1 is high from Sonny Gray. Villar at .227 with no homers has driven in 4. Last night he played third base while Marwin Gonzalez was the shortstop. He was 0 for 2 with a sack and a walk last night. Two balls, no strikes to the number 9 hitter. Sunday, Jonathan had a couple of hits, 2 doubles, and drove in a run. Jose Altuve's on deck. The Astros have a .641 winning percentage, tops in the American League. They have tied the best start in their history for 39 games. 3 balls, no strikes. The 98 and 99 teams were also 25 and 14. They have a 5.5 game lead on the Angels. Angels trailing currently at Toronto 2-0 after 6. That's a strike, and it's 3-1 for Villar. Tough night for the Astros hitters last night. They managed only 2 singles, and both of them were infield hits as they lost 2-1. Three and 2 now to Villar. Astros have averaged just a little over 3 runs per game at home this year, and yet they have a winning record. Villar strikes out after getting ahead 3-0. First strikeout for Gray. Jose Altuve bats. He popped a second, leading off the Astros' first inning. Bueno on deck. 2 runs home on the Carter homer. Rasmus had doubled. Castro's single made it 3 straight hits. Now Altuve would like to restart that hit parade. Takes the breaking pitch, and it's ball 1.
Just about time for Altuve to get red hot once again.
He has cooled off. He's a .347 career hitter against Oakland. Last night was the first time in a long time he has not had a hit against the Athletics. He had a 29-game hitting streak against them, but was stopped last night. In for a strike to even the count at 1-1. This Oakland pitching staff is in the middle of the pack in ERA in the American League. Jared Parker is going to have more surgery on his elbow. He hasn't pitched for them this year. A.J. Griffin hasn't pitched this year. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Is there a team in the major leagues, as we watch this beautifully placed fastball at the knees, that has been able to stay away from injuries to pitchers' arms?
Boy, couldn't name one offhand. Altuve expanded his zone and struck out. That's 2 in a row for Gray.
And I'm not sure that there legitimately is an answer right now. Pitch counts have perceptively done nothing to cut down on injuries of arms.
Valbuena singled up the middle his first time up. Yeah, teams are generally very protective of pitchers as they progress through the minor leagues. There is strike one to Valbuena. Sonny Gray made his second consecutive opening day start, and it was a beauty against Texas. 8 innings, 1 hit, no runs. 1 ball, 1 strike. I understand when he was in high school, he also played quarterback, and his father suffered a tragic death in a car wreck, and he played that night. Said his dad would have wanted him to do that.
Wow.
There's a high one. That might hit the roof. Sogard coming in, and now back for the catch. And the Astros on the Carter homer get 2 runs on 3 hits and leave a man. They're up 2-0 after a couple.
Step on the bag and get to play. Castro recognizes it and gets a tag. So, and a big time, I thought that would swing the momentum a little bit in our favor, with the defensive play like that.
Yeah, that was A.J. Hinch talking about Chris Carter's defensive gem on our Geico quote of the day. That really was a nice play by Chris. He made a couple of fine defensive plays in that ball game.
Ball 1 to Eric Sogard, 2-0 Astros. Third inning opens with the number 9 hitter for Oakland. And he loops one. Colby Rasmus is there in left center. 1 out. Well, AJ has talked about it with his outfielders. He does have that flexibility. Colby usually plays left. Jake Marisnik's getting a night off. No problem moving Colby to center. George Springer could play center but hasn't this year. So he can move the chess pieces around. Coco Crisp drew a walk, stole a base in the first inning. That's a shot out to center field. Rasmus with the second out.
Bet that's a comfy feeling for Colby in center field after all the years he's spent out there.
Well, and he's taken to left field so well. He had not played very much left. It really gives the outfield coverage just such a boost for the Astros over most teams they play. They have the edge. Marcus Semien struck out in the first inning. The Astros are a pitch to contact team. Based on that philosophy, that requires good defensive play behind them, and they have provided that this year. Line shot to left. That's in for a hit. 2-out single by Semien. That gives him a 7-game hitting streak.
And I think he's given a lot of baseball people reason to feel he's going to be an offensive weapon for years to come.
He does swing the bat well. He had an OPS of well over 850 when this game started. Very nice start at the plate for Semien.
What is that correlation between getting hits and smiling?
Well, it's strong, as you remember.
That was kind of an occasional remembrance on my part.
Did you ever see a guy frown when he got to first after a hit?
Yeah, because he tried to act like that little flare that he just dropped in wasn't to his liking. Nonsense.
Reddick struck out earlier. There's the throw. Semien is 6 for 6 in steals. Oakland is 21 for 24 in stolen bases. Big meeting between the Yankees and Washington in our nation's capital. 6-5 Yankees, bottom of the 6th inning. Ian Desmond and Bryce Harper have gone deep. How about Bryce Harper's year so far?
So far, I think he's trying to validate all the, a few years ago now, projections as to what kind of player he was going to be. He looks like the real deal.
Harper leads the National League in homers, runs batted in, on base average, and slugging percentage.
And if he gets hot, he's going to come around with some other numbers, I'm sure.
He's hit more homers in 39 games than he hit in 100 games last year. Runner goes. Here's Castro's throw in the dirt. Safe at second. A steal for Semien. He's 7 for 7 now. Castro had thrown out 38% coming into this game. Oakland's 2 for 2 tonight.
There are those nights when you're just not going to get the guys. Hernandez is not overly quick. And with the perfect throw right here, probably Castro gets his man. But you get to rushing and trying to make the perfect play or perfect throw in this case and just come up a little shy.
1-1 to Reddick. Hernandez does take longer than the other Astros pitchers, by and large, the starters anyway, to deliver the ball to home plate. 2 balls and a strike. In Roberto's career, though, his ground ball to fly ball ratio 2.3 to 1 is second among active pitchers. Only Tim Hudson is slightly higher.
By the way, I was just looking up Bryce Harper. I think there's a mistake in the numbers. It says he's still 22 years of age.
No, that's accurate, actually.
Let's see.
We think it should be a mistake based on.
Hasn't he been around about 5 years now?
He's been around for a while. Yeah, his numbers, if he continues to develop the way it appears that he might, he could have staggering career numbers. He's able to avoid injury and have a lengthy career. There's a line shot right field. That'll get a run home. Springer over to his left. Spins and fires off balance, getting it to Altuve. And an RBI double by Reddick. It's now 2-1. Reddick drives in his 29th. Oakland answers, and Billy Butler will be next.
That lousy 2-out single has resulted in at least 1 run for the A's. Josh Reddick has really started to turn his career back around. He looked like he was going to be one of the excellent right fielders in the game, and defensively he's stayed doing that. But as he hits one right off the end of the bat here this year, the offensive side of the game coming back strong.
Hernandez has gotten the ball up in this inning. Billy Butler struck out earlier. Strike 1 for Roberto. Sogard led off with a fly ball to left center. Crisp hit a fly ball to center. Semien a line drive to left, and Reddick a line drive to right. Each club with 4 hits. In the dirt for Butler. It's 1-1. Happy birthday to assistant hitting coach Alan Zinter with the Astros. Andre the Giant, the great wrestler, was born on this date in 1946. And Ferdinand Magellan, 1480.
He was a first rounder, wasn't he?
Ground ball up the middle. There's Altuve in the shift. Throwing out Butler. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left, 2-1. Houston in the third.
Insurance MLB All-Star Game ballot is open, and for the first time ever, it's online only. Vote for your favorite Astros today by visiting Astros.com/vote. The Astros getting to Sonny Gray early, the first time they've seen Sonny Gray all year. A.J. Hinch joking before the game, saying, I was doing just fine watching him just on MLB Network, MLB Tonight. But facing him today, Chris Carter got to him. I asked Dave Hudgens, the hitting coach, about some of the keys, the approach that you would have against a guy like this with such a great breaking ball. I said, I'm telling my guys tonight to hunt the fastball, throwing that fastball 70% of the time. That breaking stuff can be really tough, especially early in the count, really tough to lay off of. It was going to be a challenge for his guys coming in tonight. So far, doing a nice job, guys.
Yes, he is. They are, rather. George Springer walked in the first inning, and there's ball 1.
There's that intriguing coaching philosophy on the pitching coach side and hitting coach side. Pitching coaches tell their guys, in a lot of cases, throw the fastball for a strike to start things. Hitting coaches say, look for the fastball and jump on it. And I really think it's the reason that first pitches are hit for such high averages. But it's a meeting of the mind, or well, maybe a never having met at the minds there on both sides of the game.
Springer on 2-0 takes it. 2 balls and a strike to George. Oh, Ash, while you and Julia and Blummer and our traveling crew are in Detroit, Grammy Award-winning artist Drake will be hosting a celebrity softball game.
You're part of it, though, right?
No.
I thought you were the shortstop.
2-2. No, they wanted an actual player at that position. And that'll be Friday. It'll be at Houston Cougar Field, University of Houston. Beginning at 7 o'clock Friday, benefiting the Astros MLB Urban Youth Academy. Congratulations to Drake for that charity effort. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
But make sure and get Brownie down there playing. He will surprise you with his power.
Sounds like a worthwhile event. We'll get the final score to you guys so you can mention it on the air.
We will do that. Film at 11.
3-2 to Springer. He had a 3-2 count the first time up and took a breaking pitch off the plate for ball 4. This time he's hacking, driving one deep right center field. Reddick backing. Reddick on the warning track. 1 out.
Why, you say, would the hitters be hunting fastball? Sonny Gray, breaking ball usage at about 33%. The chase on that is high. Breaking ball with 2 strikes even goes up to 54%, and the chase goes up even further. But he's got a dynamic pair of breaking balls, the slider and the curveball, and he'll change speeds with the changeup. He's just a really good one, and that chase indicators because he can keep it so close out of the strike zone.
Evan Gattis looks at ball 1. Bounced into a force play in the first inning.
George might have gotten one there for a second.
Yeah. Well, he's hit a lot of balls to the big part of the field here at Minute Maid Park. And we'll show you more on that later in the game. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Looked like one of those wiffle balls back in the day with the holes on one side of it.
Yeah. Do they still have those?
I imagine they do. Did that ball get in on him just a hair?
1 and 2.
Look at the back foot of George Springer. That's the way it should be, and a lot of times we see his back foot staying planted. Is that why he got to this ball a bit? That's perfect. That's exactly what you want to see. And now the foot plants back down. That's okay.
Hot shot off the glove of Laurie and picked up by the shortstop Semien on the grounder by Gattis. He hit it near the line, and he's aboard with 1 out here in the 3rd inning. That'll be hit number 5 for the Astros.
Yeah, that's really tough for Brett Laurie. A guy who's also made some errors. There have been I believe about 19-20 errors on the left side of the infield or more. At least the starters have committed that many for the A's on that left side.
He did prevent a double by getting over there and blocking it.
That's a good point.
Preston Tucker bounced into a force play earlier. He gets a first pitch breaking ball, and it's strike 1. Left-handed hitters just 171 against Sonny Gray this year.
Not sure if it's too early to evaluate that number, but I would say that probably says he's willing to work in on the hands. He's got a fastball that will run away. The changeup is very effective usually against the lefties.
Tucker takes it. It's 1-1 to Preston. He acquired the nickname Bam Bam in the minor leagues.
He's left no doubt as to why. He has grabbed the manager and coaching staff's attention right away.
He looks at it. It's 2-1. He went Bam Bam with 4 doubles and 6 at bats earlier on this homestand. Currently has a 4-game hitting streak.
He actually had a little physical mannerism after taking that fastball low. He had kind of dipped the back shoulder, and instantly he showed himself. He was kind of telling himself, don't do this. Here's what you did on that last pitch. That was good recognition on his part.
He fouls it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. His 4 doubles were the most ever recorded by an Astros player within his first 7 games. He was leading the minor leagues in homers and runs batted in when he joined the major league club. And now John Singleton has taken over the minor league lead in homers and runs batted in.
Yeah, then along came Big John, and good to see for John Singleton.
Remember that song?
I do.
Struck him out. That's number 3 for Sonny Gray.
I think I mixed a couple of songs. Along came, if that was the right name to go with that one, and Big John.
Yeah. Earlier today, Carlos Correa went deep, and Fresno won this game. Correa with another big ball game. He's hitting well over 300 for the Fresno Grizzlies.
Well, he didn't just go deep. He went oppo deep into right center field. He's got that kind of pop.
Colby Rasmus ripped the first pitch to him for a double to left center in the second. There is ball 1. Well, with Correa really acclimating himself well after the promotion from AA Corpus Christi to AAA Fresno. Singleton was player of the week last week with 23 runs batted in 1 week. Is that possible?
No.
Had 10 in one game. And then there's the outfielder Domingo Santana, who was with the Astros last year. He too has really gotten things together. They've had a lot of offense in Fresno.
Yeah, those kinds of numbers for Singleton, that's just showing off.
2-0 to Rasmus with Carter on deck. Breaking ball here, Ash.
That's what you see coming.
It wasn't.
You know what, though? It looked to me like that little miniature cutter he backdoored.
It did. And that's what's changed things a lot. That pitch. A fastball with a little movement at the end.
You feel as a left-hand hitter that pitch has got to be away, and here it comes right back to the plate.
Yes. Good selection. Now that one wasn't a cutter, and it's 3-1. These pitchers, they play with a hitter's mind, don't they?
Well, they've got us thinking up here, and imagine what it's doing to the guys in the box.
It's paralyzing them.
You actually kind of heard that type of comment come out of A.J. Hinch's mouth down in the dugout today, talking about not wanting to say too many things to the hitters.
Sogard makes the flip over to first base. No runs, one hit, one man left after 3, 2-1 Houston.
With a special ticket promotion that offers limited lower level and 200 level seats for just $19.86 for Monday through Thursday games. That's through the month of May. Get your ticket for tomorrow's game against the A's. For more information, visit Astros.com/1986 or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Stephen Vogt leads it off, taking strike one from Roberto Hernandez. 2-1 Astros. Vogt grounded to shortstop in the second inning. Shortstop VR happens to be on the first base side of second, and that's where he's been playing, with Vogt a pull hitter on the ground. Vogt takes that one. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Vogt has very good strike zone judgment. 20 walks, 20 strikeouts for the year. An OPS of over 1,000. That's right there, and he takes it. 1-2. Why would he take a pitch like that, Mitch?
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys. You know, people get different labels, pitch recognition. He probably has that. But I think he's also one of those takers that it works out well for, because he's a good hitter. If you're a taker and you're not a good hitter, you're going to get chewed up and spit out.
Well, we've all been taught since we were kids, don't be just a taker.
Well, you got to be able to give too, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, can a hitter really give? Well, he can give out some punishment. I know that.
Yeah.
Vogt's capable of all of that.
Little ground out for out number one. Muncy is next. Muncy drew a walk in the second. Quite an inning in the second when he was thrown out at the plate. An outstanding tag by Jason Castro, taking a throw out of the dirt from Jonathan Villar. And then he made another tag on Brett Lawrie. Sam Folk getting an infield hit at first, and Roberto Hernandez took that toss from Chris Carter and then realized he had to make a play at the plate, and he threw to Castro. And on a contested play, he tagged out Lawrie. One ball, one strike.
Difference in the ball game.
It is the difference in the game, and it was a very close call. So Bob Melvin has used his manager's challenge. Fly ball left field. Tucker. 2 outs. Let's go back to inning number 2.
Yeah, a lot of intrigue. That was so tough there for Jason Castro. Comes up with the ball and then applies the tag. Muncy thought he was safe on the play. But it was really the Brett Lawrie play that was extremely close, and it took us one frame to get the call. And it really came down to inability for the umpires to overturn the out call at the plate.
Exactly. Lawrie double to right center. There's strike one. Now a manager's under the gun when his player gets up and points to the play at the plate that he wants it reviewed. The player probably doesn't have the best perspective.
Brett Lawrie was simply wrong by a frame, as it turned out.
Yeah. Well, I think I get his point, and that is that he was tagged up around the thigh, as you see there.
There it is. That is the frame.
Has to be conclusive evidence to overturn the play.
And I think on some of the angles there, you could probably say, well, in that frame, was there really a tag applied? But the point is, you can't overturn things based on what you see there.
Exactly. Home plate umpire has a much better view of it than that replay Frozen gave us. In terms of where the foot was it touching the plate? Was it just above the plate? We can't see it on that kind of a freeze frame.
Did I hear you reference that movie once again, Frozen?
Yeah. Hey, look at this. This is a better view, Ash.
Is there a tag? And see, that's where I would say you can look at it very same frame from the other side and you say, yes, there is a tag. So clearly then when you add the two up, playing a little math game at the moment, it's an out. That's the very same frame.
Okay.
And boy, that was a great call on your part about the foot being in the air on the left-hand side. Tough to tell for me.
Yeah, it
but
is. When
you see on the other side, on the right, that foot is in the air.
Well, we can see that from up here.
Well, I knew you could. I was unable at the moment. I don't know what the problem is.
I'm too honest. That's your problem. You're too honest.
But how do you do that when you're an umpire trying to make that call?
Yeah. Well, that's what makes it a very difficult job. Bouncer up the middle, slowly hit, charged by VR. Quick throw, safe. He did everything he could do. But Lawrie beats it, and he's 2 for 2.
He runs well. And Jonathan Villar made a fine play. Watch what he does. The mechanics perfect to get up and make a good, strong throw. Just not enough to get the speedy Lawrie. Well, there's a lot going on well for Jonathan Villar. Going in the right direction.
Had to come a long way to get there. Lawrie's aboard for Sam Fuld now. That's hit number 5 for Oakland. Fuld got an infield hit on the bouncer. Carter tossing to Hernandez, and Fuld just beat the play. Sogard's on deck. Throw goes over. And you mentioned Lawrie runs well. He's 1 for 1 in steals. But this would be a good situation for a stolen base attempt. 2 outs in the inning, down at the bottom of the order. Oakland has stolen 2 bases so far in this game.
There's a version of Hernandez with a little quick slide step.
Well,
dare somebody to run on that.
Yeah, and Laurie did kind of double take at first base on that. He didn't really have it figured out. Hernandez surprised him with it.
Might have surprised others too. It was a borderline set, I think, quite frankly. I think now if he wants to iron that out, come set, make sure you don't get the balk called on you, and then apply the slide step, and that'll shut down that running game.
Laurie did not attempt to steal last year with Toronto, but for his career he has 30. And Roberto's using a series of techniques, different ones, to put that thought in Laurie's mind. And if you're Bob Melvin, it probably doesn't bother you if he does try to steal and is thrown out. It's just a good situation if he can pick the right time. A.J. Hinch could pitch out. Now it's 0-2, and all bets are off on that.
You know what, as a catcher, I would take my chances more with a guy who has a quick slide step working to try to throw a strike than I would over a pitch out in many cases, because I think the jump is actually better on that slide step effort. Think of what Dallas Keuchel does. Guys just simply don't run. You can't do it.
True. One ball, 2 strikes. Speaking of that man, Dallas Keuchel, we'll be seeing him tomorrow at 110 with his 5-0 record and his 1.87 ERA, second to Sonny Gray in the American League. Jesse Hahn going for the A's. He's 1-3 and a 4.42 ERA for Jesse Hahn. Now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes to Sam Fuld. The Orioles lead the Mariners 8-4 in Baltimore. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Miguel Gonzalez pitching for Baltimore. Taijuan Walker was roughed up. The Seattle starter giving up 7 hits and 4 earned runs in 3 2/3 innings. Nelson Cruz hit his 16th, returning to his former home with the Orioles. Seth Smith, number 4. That's a close one. Now it's 3-2 after being 0-2 on Fuld. Jimmy Paredes hit number 6 for the O's. Close pitch.
Jason Castro trying to frame it back in the strike zone.
Now Laurie will be running.
Jimmy Paredes has been rather impressive.
He sure has. With the runner moving, here's a bouncer. VR making the throw to end the top of the 4th inning with no runs a hit and the man stranded. 2-1 Houston.
Supplied the 2 runs for the Astros, and he was even saying, "Oh, look at that thing up on the tracks, 2-run bomb." And for Carter, that came in the 2nd inning, his 7th on the year. The Astros enjoy riding that kind of power game.
2-1. The Astros lead it on that Carter home run. The A's have just made some changes in their outfield. Coco Crisp has left the game. Crisp was 0 for 1 with a walk and stole a base. Their center fielder Sam Fuld has moved to left field. The new center fielder is Billy Burns. Carter takes, and there's ball 1 to Chris, who worked the count full before bashing that home run. Burns in center field. Tightness in the neck for Coco Crisp. Bounce foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's had neck problems before. He had right elbow surgery this year.
I'd like to say there goes a good chunk of the running game for the A's, but I'm not so sure with the speed of Burns.
That's true. He's a flyer. Yeah, Coco had neck problems last year. Carter hits one very high near the right field line. Sogard back. Foul territory. Or Muncy, rather. The shift was on, so it's Muncy's play, and it's out number 1. Now Jason Castro. Castro single to right. He and his wife Maris have been visiting schools as part of their foundation, giving books to those schools so the kids can be encouraged to read. Saw some of the kids out here last night cheering him on. VR's on deck. There's strike 1. We talked about Fresno with Correa's big game today. Corpus Christi Hooks are off to their best ever start. They're 25-12. And Quad Cities has the best record in professional baseball, 30-8. In for a strike, 0-2. River Bandits beat Clinton last night, 14-10. Astros traded a minor league pitcher, Chris Lee, who was at Quad Cities yesterday, for international slots in the international pool. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and it's been reported that those slots will allow them to spend about $680,000 more in signing international players. It's all gotten very complex, Ash. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's way beyond my math skills, I know that.
Well, they're going to discuss an international draft in the next bargaining agreement, which ends after the 2016 season. Strike 3 call. Castro's caught looking. Punch out number 4 for Sonny Gray. What else is going on? Fresno 22-17. Correa's hitting .316. Tony Kemp, big numbers, .339 for Corpus. Brett Phillips was the player of the year in the minor leagues last year, off to a nice start this year at Lancaster. And Joe Musgrove is 5-1 with a .130 for Quad Cities.
It would appear the development of minor league players is going on furiously now.
Strike to Jonathan Villar. He whiffed in the 2nd inning. Yeah, and an exciting night last night for the whole Astros system with the debut of McCullers. Foul away, no balls, 2 strikes the count.
It's good for the guys too. You know, they're all watching to see how this guy coming up from the minor leagues does, and thought he did quite well. And it gives those guys on the minor league level that ability to say, you know what, I feel like maybe I can make that same move because you're shoulder to shoulder with this guy.
Sure.
And you know what it's all about.
Only 2 other pairs of fathers and sons debuted at age 21 or younger, as Lance McCullers Jr. and Sr. did. Lou Krause Sr. and Jr. did it with Oakland. And Joe Holman and his son Joe did it with Detroit.
You know, I came up in the minor leagues with Cleveland with Buddy Bell, and his dad played. Gus Bell, I gather he must not have been one of the youngsters coming up, but Buddy was. He was about 21, I want to say, maybe even 20.
Great player. VR pulls one. There's the first baseman Muncy tossing to Sonny Gray. It's a 1-2-3 fourth, and it's 2-1 Houston after 4.
And join the Astros at Minute Maid Park on Saturday, May 30th as they take on the White Sox. 10,000 fans will receive a George Springer replica jersey presented by Houston Methodist. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. And with a very special guest, this is Owen Coyle, the Dynamo head coach. You're up here in the high seats, too. What are you doing here? It's a busy season for you, and you're checking out an Astros game.
Yeah, well, very much so. Listen, I think coming into Houston, I love all the sports that the city offers, and it's great to come along and get a chance to watch the Astros, and very impressed.
You've got a couple of wins here recently. How's the team feeling? How's the team looking this year?
Yeah, the boys have been doing very well. It's always going to be a gradual process because we came in. But, as I say, they're playing very well. 2 great wins at Toronto on the road and then at home against Portland. And we're now going Friday to LA Galaxy, the champions. But it's a game that we're really looking forward to.
I said it was a big one facing the defending champs. You said all of them are big ones. Spoken like a true coach, aren't you?
Well, they are. I mean, the MLS is such a tough league. It's growing into one of the major leagues in global soccer, and we're delighted to be a part of that. But what we want to do is make sure that we're competing at the very top end of that. To do that, we need to perform consistently. But the lads are doing everything asked of them at this moment, so long may that continue.
He's from Scotland, in case you couldn't pick that up from the accent. Being from Scotland and being new to Houston, what do you think of Houston and the Houstonians?
Well, I've got to say, I've loved it. Everybody's been very welcoming from the first minute we arrived, and that's great. A lot of similarities to Glasgow and Scotland, I've got to say, but it's been great. We're really enjoying it, meeting the people of Houston. And what we want to do is, like all the other sports, we want to give them a team that they're proud of. Houston Dynamo have got a great pedigree. We want to get back to that, and that means winning games.
Thanks so much for the time. Enjoy the rest of the game, guys, and good luck to the Dynamo the rest of the season.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Ronnie, up to you.
Thank you, Julia. Love to hear that man talk. Billy Burns single.
How about that, Julia, getting an interview with Rory McIlroy. That's shortly after the big victory.
Yeah.
Nice going, Julia.
Well, Burns, who was a .321 hitter for 56 at-bats, is aboard, and he might be running. He's 3 for 4 in steals. He's been a base stealer in the minors, big-time base stealer. Marcus Semien is the batter. He's 1 for 2. The A's have stolen 2 bases in this game. Burns starts and stops. And there's ball 1 to Semien. Well, the scouting numbers on Billy Burns are 80 for a speed. On a 20 to 80 scale, he gets an 80.
Gets an 80 on that little job of hitting that one-handed line drive to left field too.
That's true. Burns' dad was the New York Jets running back. Roberto Hernandez looking over his left shoulder, is keeping an eye on Burns. He was successful 89% of the time in the minors. He's going. Castro's throw to Altuve. Oh, he didn't catch it. That was a perfect throw right on the bag, but Burns was arriving about that time that Altuve was trying to catch that throw from Castro.
Billy Burns is flat out a burner. Those two, I'd love to see them run side by side because the little quick strides would probably match each other. I've had a chance of being close.
Yeah. Jose might have glanced away. Ball hit his glove. Really good throw by Castro.
Ooh, yeah. There was a genuine shot.
He looked pretty disappointed. Now it's 2-0 to Semien. 2 balls and a strike. Altuve has played errorless baseball this year. Coming into this game, he'd had 184 total chances without an error, and that was ruled a stolen base by Burns. His 4th. He is a flyer. Reddick is on deck. Came back a little bit, but still missing. It's a 3-ball, 1-strike count on Semien. Twins lead the Pirates at Pittsburgh 8-5. Pedro Alvarez has hit a home run into the river. His 7th of the year came off Ricky Nolasco. Pick-off play at second to Altuve.
Didn't hit the fan down there by the river, did it?
I think it landed on a boat. Former Twin Francisco Liriano lasted only 2 innings. The Twins battered him for 7 runs. So if that boat winds up in Cincinnati, do they give him credit for all that distance?
They should.
Bouncer over the mound. Altuve at second. Throws him out. 2 down. Burns to third base.
You got to factor in accuracy.
Josh Reddick will bat. He has an RBI double in 2 trips. Now Brent Strom is coming out. What could this be? Any idea?
I imagine this is lefty versus righty. Reddick versus Butler. And of course Reddick also hitting over 300, has a double on the night, has driven in the lone Oakland run. So how do you want to go about it here if you do face Reddick?
Reddick had the RBI double his last time up in the third after striking out in the first. The Oakland bullpen was really something last night, combining for 4 2/3 innings of hitless ball. Oakland beating Houston 2-1. Now with the Astros leading 2-1, it's Reddick ready to go. Valbuena's going to play not too far from third base. That leaves a big hole on the left side of the infield. There's strike 1 to Reddick. There's the way it looks. Brewers lead at Detroit. It's 8-1 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ryan Braun hit his 9th home run. Adam Lind, number 7. Strike makes it 0-2 to Reddick. He pulled the arms back. He was crowded by that pitch.
And he's not happy about the call at all. He didn't feel this ball got back to the plate. He's right.
Hernandez with 1 win has really done a nice job in the Astros rotation. He had to make the club in spring training. He's provided a solid 6 innings in almost every start. 1-2. This one of those tense affairs with Sonny Gray, such a good pitcher for Oakland. The Carter 2-run homer in the second has provided runs early, but now it appears that Gray is in sync. Rasmus shades to left center field, wide open in right center, way upstairs, and it's 2-2. Well, the A's were just whipping the Astros regularly for a few years there. Houston went 5-25 in a 30-game stretch against Oakland through April 25th of a year ago, but the Astros are 12-9 since then against Bob Melvin's club.
During that stretch, the A's were not only good, but they had some of that magic going. They had abilities to win games late.
Rasmus pursuing it in right center, makes a long running catch. Well done by Colby to keep the A's off the board in the 5th. No runs, a hit, a runner stranded at third. It's 2-1 Houston. Minute Maid Park, next to last game of the homestand. Day game coming tomorrow. Day game Thursday in Detroit. Jose Altuve will lead it off in the home 5th inning. In fact, the day game is kind of the theme of your road trip coming up, Ash.
5 out of 7 played under the big shiny yellow thing in the sky. A little different look.
That shiny yellow thing has not been showing much of itself for the last couple of weeks around Houston.
It has been AWOL.
Altuve 0 for 2. Swings at a high pitch. There's strike 1 to Jose. Now 0 for his last 13.
I think Jose took the attitude right there. Let's just go get some good swings, because he's been hitting a lot of little tapper ground balls.
And he chased that in the dirt, and it's 0-2. He has been expanding his strike zone a little bit.
Oftentimes it means you're not seeing the ball well. Something's moving with your eyes.
He's a good 2-strike hitter, though. A shot into center field. Altuve pounced on it. There's the end of that 0 for 13. Tonight's T-Mobile Game Changer is coming your way right now. It's Luis Valbuena with an Oppo home run on Sunday to the Crawford boxes. And then George Springer mashed one that was caught last night. That ball was hit a lot further than Valbuena's home run.
No way. Home runs go further than outs. Okay, well, maybe not in this case. See where the Valbuena ball was, and I'm not sure how accurately that depicts. Look at the feet. 355, is that what that is? Versus 907 feet, I think, on the Springer ball.
About right.
But anyway, it's a crazy game.
Crazy game.
Yeah. 4:32, and you're out, young man. Go sit down. It's oftentimes not always fair in this game of baseball.
Valbuena single to center field. He's 1 for 2.
But the big growing question now is, would the Valbuena home run have been a dinger at Fenway?
That has grown into very large proportions for us, with you raising a lot of questioning about the dimensions at Fenway.
36, 37 feet high is that wall.
Yeah. This wall's about 21 feet high.
Which is high enough to cover the entire infield of the Major League ballpark.
Well, you've really confused the issue.
Yes, okay.
3-0. Now you've forced everybody to think about it. Would that have been a home run at Fenway? Would it have been high off the wall?
We have expert mathematicians putting their heads together, and they're 50-50 split on that one.
Altuve has been an excellent base stealer. He's tied for the league lead with 14 and 18 tries. Valbuena takes it. It's 3-1 now. Well, the point is illustrated, though, that a left-handed hitter has certain advantages in Minute Maid Park here, and you saw it with Valbuena's home run. He can be just a little bit late and still reach the seats.
I think Jason Castro is the other guy that really sets up well in this ballpark and hasn't fully taken advantage this year.
3-2 now. On the other hand, a right-handed hitter, if he doesn't pull the ball here, there are a lot of outs in center field and right center field.
Yeah, and you kind of have to stop there. Straightaway right field is not a bad haven either, but more of a challenge for that right-hand hitter than it is here with the left-hand hitter.
That seems to be victimizing George Springer this year.
It does, and he's hit a lot of balls deep from right center to left center.
He's on deck right now. Altuve goes. There's ball 4, and now Springer will bat with 2 men on and nobody out. Second walk for Gray. Springer, with the balls he's hit to the outfield in play, has hit a lot of them to center, right center, a little bit left center, and then some to right, but not many to left.
Yeah, I'm not recalling exactly how many balls George pulled with authority last year. But I guess bottom line is he's not doing it a lot so far this year. Maybe an endeavor to stay on the ball, maybe trying to go back up the middle or the other way. But so far, adding up to, well, that 168 or 186 batting average.
Springer has walked and fly to right. Both times he's worked the count to 3-2. That's added up to 85 pitches for Sonny Gray. There is strike one. And that is an excellent job by the Astros hitters of running the pitch count on Sonny Gray. Boy, in recent years, the Astros have had a lot of innings in which they haven't seen many pitches at all. That's the slider, and it's devastating.
This was batting practice earlier today. See the back foot. That's what you really want to view. He's in a perfect impact position right there. Just perfect. And in the games, it would seem a lot of times that right foot gets planted with the heel down. We'll see how he fares here this evening. And I don't know if that maybe keeps him under the baseball.
Springer looks at it. That's the ball. And it's 1-2 to George.
That's a tough one to lay off, and that's probably right where Sonny Gray wanted it.
Very good 0-2 pitch. The Astros are second in drawing walks in the American League, and they have done a much better job of that and working counts this year than they have the last 3 years. Different players, part of it. George Springer, part of it. He's walked 25 times to lead the club. So there's some maturation in the young hitters the Astros have had, and also some of the newcomers. That one almost hit him. It's 2-2 to George. The Tigers lost that game at home to the Brewers 8-1. Anibal Sanchez the loser.
George reacted like he thought he was just going to take one right here, just get nailed. And I guess it was quite close on that front leg, but he really brought that leg into the pitch.
Now a full count to Springer. Well, he's done a great job. He was behind 0-2.
Quite a challenge right here. Low scoring game. Do you want to manufacture something? Speed of Altuve at second base. Are you willing to run on a 3-2 to George Springer, who's so inclined to the strikeout?
It's the third 3-2 count for Springer tonight. And ball 4 loads the bases with nobody out for Evan Gattis. Boy, that is a terrific job by Springer.
That pitch was close, and I think Sonny Gray thought that this was a strike. Sonny just kept coming up toward the plate. Is that a strike? Could be called a strike. Part of the ball catching that zone. And again, George is kind of in that mode now with these walks of taking a lot of close pitches. This commentary on the hill is going to be, yeah, it was a strike. Yeah. And now Bob Melvin is saying, hey, lay off. The guys have a right to blow off a little steam.
Evidently, they see in Andy Fletcher somebody's getting a little unhappy.
Home plate umpires do not take kindly to question marks about the strike zone. I don't know how that ever came about in baseball.
Evan Gattis has the bases loaded. Nobody out. He's 1 for 2. Big situation here with the Astros up 2-1. Still nobody warming up in the bullpen for Oakland. They'll stay with Sonny Gray. Gattis is 2 for 4 with the bases loaded. That's in for a strike. Altuve's at third base. He singled. Valbuena's at second. He drew a walk. And Springer at first also walked. 3 walks in the game for Gray. He's allowed 6 hits. Gattis on a pitch in the dirt. Altuve comes to the plate. Here's the throw from Vogt and the tag by Gray, and they get him. That's out number 1. Vogt scrambled for it. And Gray with a tag. A 2-1 play on Altuve. Balbuena to third, Springer to second.
Boy, talk about a team catching a break. The Oakland A's did not want a ball to get by their catcher, but in doing so, they get the first out of the inning. And Jose Altuve was just left out to dry. But that's quite a break from the A's perspective.
Boy, was that a quick throw by Vogt.
Yeah, and it's also maybe a break for the Astros that Altuve didn't get hurt.
Now the infield comes in with runners at second and third and one out, and a 1-1 count on Gaddis. So that play really changes the inning. Fernando Rodriguez now has started to warm up. Just started. Off the plate, 2-1. It was almost as if Altuve was suckered into going, didn't you think?
Yeah, well, forced, yeah, exactly. On that type of play, such a close game, see if you can get a run, and I'm sure everybody's hollering go.
Right.
And it just didn't work out. And oftentimes on that play, you'll see a misconnection between catcher and pitcher.
It's hard not to go on there. Gaddis fouls it back.
This is a swing that says, I want to drive in runs. And there's the previous pitch. And for the A's, it just worked out where the ball went just far enough away to get Altuve to go, and not far enough away to be able to score.
Right. As you saw, he hesitated. 2-2 now. And Sonny Gray could turn this entire inning around after getting that out at the plate. There have been some plays at the plate in this game. Gaddis shoots right into left field. That's a big delivery. Balbuena scores, and it's 3-1 on a Gaddis RBI single. 22nd run batted in for Evan Gaddis. So both Gaddis and Carter are showing signs of getting things moving offensively.
I commented about the earlier swing by Gaddis. He looked like a man who wanted to drive in a run or runs for his team. And for me, that's one of the biggest keys on a team that's going to be successful. Do you have guys in the heart that take it upon themselves to want to drive in runs? And Evan Gaddis was that man right there. And clearly it wasn't a pitch that was a cookie.
Balbuena came home, and now the Astros lead at 3-1 with Preston Tucker batting. Runners at first and third. In the air to left. Sam Fold coming in. With the catcher's the tag, and Springer will just draw a throw, and now a play back at first. Gaddis had to scramble back in. 2 outs.
Boy, Sonny Gray on the mound. Are you willing, with the speed of Springer at third base, to come on a shallow fly ball, but to Sam Fold, who doesn't have what you'd call one of the great arms in the game, and that throw turned out to be offline. Had Springer come, I think he scores.
Yeah.
But a very tough call, certainly, to go in that direction.
Yeah, because left fielder's so close in his park.
Well, and on top of that, already an out in the inning at the plate.
Right. And now Colby Rasmus, who has a double in 2 trips, will try to get another runner home. Chris Carter on deck. Gaddis is not being held at first by Muncy. Rasmus looks at ball 1. The Astros had the bases loaded, nobody out. They have scored 1 after getting a runner thrown out of the plate. They've now out-hit the Athletics 7-6. In for a strike, and it's even at 1-1. The Tigers, with their 8-1 loss, now have been a very hard team to figure out this year. They are 23-17, and yet in 20 of their 40 games, they've scored 3 runs or less.
They're very easy to figure out when they're winning, and winning big, because they just slam it around with the best of them.
It's true. 2 balls and a strike. Well, Blummer and Julia will see them in person starting Thursday afternoon.
That's a 4A East, even though the Tigers are a central team, but Detroit and then Baltimore
Rodriguez warming up. Rasmus takes a look at it. It's 3-1. Sonny Gray is at 101 pitches now. His record is 4-1, and he is really a standout on this staff. Now lefty Fernando Abad is at work. Rasmus goes to a 3-2 count. It tells you how good Sonny Gray has been. If he's 4-1 and his club is 14-26.
Then you get in a tough position when he's getting close to the end of the night in terms of pitch count. You stay with him. Who's better to bring in a big situation?
Sure. Now Gaddis will take off on the 3-2 with 2 outs. And that's out of play. Yeah, if you have a Sonny Gray and such a standout on your club, why not go with him?
Well, we've seen it with Dallas Keuchel. Tough situation late in the game. Let him finish his inning.
Takes off, 3-2 pitch, bounce to the first baseman, and there's the toss from Muncy to Gray. The Astros come away with 1 run and 2 hits, and they leave 2. They go up 3-1.
To you, our progressive fans of the game. We're going to do a couple of guys here. This is Josh and Adam Aller. They're from the Woodlands, but now pitching for Northwestern State. Their baseball team is in town. The Southland Conference tournament happening in Sugar Land. So I want to ask you, Adam, what it's like to come back and pitch in front of your hometown in this conference tournament, and how the guys have done this season, and how it just excited you are.
Oh, it's going to be great. I mean, being from Houston, I'm going to have a lot of people behind us at the game, and I know that we're from Louisiana, but that being close to Sugar Land where we are, it's only about a 3.5 hour drive. So I feel like we'll have a lot of fans at the game tonight or tomorrow. And, we're really excited finishing the year 20-8, second seed, and getting a good shot this year at winning the tournament. And, at the end of the day, that's what every team wants to do, is win the tournament, go on to a regional, and I think that's what we're going to strive to do, is just go 4-4 and win the tournament.
Your teammates are not photobombing you. Just wanted to let you know that. Did I mention these guys are brothers? And you said y'all took hitting lessons from Mike Stanton. Our Mike Stanton taught you guys how to hit. What'd you learn from this guy?
Obviously not a lot, because we're both pitchers now. But but I don't think that one was on Mike. I think that one might have been a little bit more on us. Mike's a great guy. We love him to death. He's a character, though. He always is entertaining. And he's a fun guy to be around, no matter what you're doing.
You're the best for answering that. Thank you guys so much. Good luck in the tournament. Here's your goodie bag. Don't fight over it like brothers would. But best of luck to you this weekend in the tournament. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Julia. Yeah, we wish them all the best. There was out number 1. Butler grounding out to Jonathan VR. Stephen Vogt has bounced out twice tonight. Roberto Hernandez has a 3-1 lead. He's allowed 6 hits. Bouncing that one. He goes to a 1-0 count.
Where was Mike Stanton when I needed him? Laughing somewhere.
Mike has given a lot of lessons at his facility north of Houston. 2 balls, no strikes. So after all those relief appearances he made in his career, don't you think there's something he can teach a pitcher?
He's got 3 rings. Imagine he has taught a few more lessons along the way.
Vogt fouls it back. 2 balls and 1 strike for Roberto Hernandez. He's not yet at 90 pitches for the night. Sonny Gray's thrown 104 through 5. With the Orioles' 9-4 win over the Mariners, Seattle drops to 17-21 now. Foul ball makes the count 2 balls 2 strikes. Looking at the Astros schedule, after tomorrow they go to Detroit for that series, and the next 26 games will find them facing mostly losing teams. Not that that's an automatic win or anything like that, but so far they played 39 games. This is number 40. Of the 40 games, they've played 2 games against a team that currently has a winning record, the San Francisco Giants. They're 20-18. Popped up foul, and that would be back out of play. So they've really done a wonderful job of beating up on the clubs who have not fared well in the early going. Here's the upcoming schedule: 4 in Detroit, 3 in Baltimore, then the White Sox are here at Baltimore's here. Now, the White Sox currently have a winning record. They're 1 game above 500, 18-17. So they will continue on this path for almost the next month. Most of the clubs they play are under 500. Again, that's no guarantee of anything.
Yeah, which do you believe more, the first quarter of the season for a club or last year, for example? And those teams were winning teams last year: Baltimore, Detroit. Kind of go on with those clubs, but it's hard to figure out where you determine how strong a club is.
Our producer Carl Patterson checked. Last year the Astros were 33-35 against teams with losing records. Ground ball foul, but it's really no black mark of any kind to say you beat these teams. That's just when you were scheduled to play them if you're the Astros.
It's a funny thing. People will say, yeah, you beat the bottom feeders. But if you lose to them, well, you can't even beat these teams. So
right.
You can't win there. You just have to go out and do your job.
Well, quite often, the playoff teams are the ones who have had big numbers in winning against those teams that are not so good.
Absolutely true.
Tucker with a fly ball. And it's simply a matter of fact, they have not played the teams with the best records. They just haven't played them yet.
Beat who you play,
yeah.
Right? And, you know, everybody in the dugout's going to tell you we take it 1 game at a time. It's a cliche none of us like to hear, but it's reality.
Well, they've done a good job of that. They've just focused on each game, and they've won 25 so far. If they get this one, 26-14 would be their best start for the first 40.
You know what, the bottom line is the best you can do on any given day is win 1 game, and you try to do it against every team you're matched up against.
Strike to Muncy. Muncy's 0 for 1 with a walk. When they do start to play those elite teams, it's a ways down the road. Who knows how many changes there will be. There will be personnel changes on all these clubs by then. 0-2. But if they were to have a great winning percentage against the lesser lights and, you know, play roughly 500 ball against those teams above 500, that might be good enough to get in the playoffs. Who knows?
You know, the San Diego Padres, for example, a team the Astros have played, are a team with a 19-20 record. So they're a team below 500, one of those losing clubs. Why are they a losing club? Because the Astros went in and laid it on them.
Excellent point. Very good point. Yeah, they had a good record at the time, didn't they?
They did. They were above 500, but it turned out to be one of those series that was all Houston.
But that's the point. You have to play a team no matter what its record is when the schedule says. And looking at this, yeah, they were a game over 500. Padres. There's a smash toward the right field line with some home run distance. And that's a line drive bomb by Muncy. Number 2 of the season for him. That makes it a 1-run lead. It's 3-2. Muncy drives in his 4th. Playing for the injured Ike Davis. He cashes in with a 2-out solo homer.
Twice tonight the Oakland A's have gotten 2-out hits with nobody on base. It was Marcus Semien in the 3rd inning who got a base hit, stole a bag, and scored on a Josh Reddick double, and now a 2-out solo home run. Kind of like this kid Muncy, who's a 3rd baseman by trade.
Brett Lawrie's the batter. Paul Wendell, he is 2 for 2. A double to right center and an infield hit to shortstop. That's 7 hits for Oakland. Houston also has 7. No errors in the game tonight. That's the 7th long ball surrendered by Hernandez. It's 1-1. There is nobody currently warming up in the Houston pen. Well, wait a minute. Tony Sipp had been throwing. Tight. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, at 100 pitches right now for Hernandez, still trying to get out of this 6th inning. I think it's likely this is his last frame.
It's looking that way as Sipp gets loose. There's a swing at a low pitch, and it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Sam Fuld is on deck. The A's have been an excellent second-half team down through the years. In 13 of the last 15 years, they have a higher winning percentage after the All-Star break than before. They got off to a tough start, though, this season. Currently, they're 12 games under 500. That's a foul ball just outside 3rd. Still 2-2 to Laurie.
Haven't looked at the numbers, but I don't think the A's can make that claim last year when they had a great first 2/3 of the season.
Yeah, they did. You know, they made those trades and things did not work out for them. They got John Lester. They traded Cespedes. So they surrendered some offense to bring in some pitching. They got Jeff Samardzija. And they didn't hold the lead in that playoff game at Kansas City. And their season ended after just 1 playoff game. 3 balls, 2 strikes now. Bud Norris went on the disabled list for Baltimore today with bronchitis. In the air, and let's see if Castro might have a play. He does not. Still 3-2. Well, 40 games in the books as of the end of this one tonight, Ash. 1/4 of the baseball season, roughly. Big enough sample size for you to get a handle on a team?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, it's great to see, for example, what the Astros are doing. It's been a really tremendous start to the year.
Carter blocks it with his chest, tosses, and just in time to get the out. Good recovery by Chris Carter. Muncy homered to make it a 1-run affair. It's 3-2 Houston in the 6th. Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. From Minute Maid Park, it's a close one. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and it's 3-2. The Astros lead it. Former Astro Fernando Rodriguez comes out of the bullpen for Oakland. Sonny Gray went the first 5. He allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, walking 3, fanning 4. And he threw 104 pitches. Now Fernando 0-1 in 6 innings, has an ERA of 6.00 after being promoted from AAA. He's been up for 2 weeks, promoted from Nashville May 7th. And things went well through his first 4 outings in 5 innings, not giving up a run, but there you are, current on his numbers for the season. And he faces Chris Carter. Carter hit the 2-run homer in the 2nd. He fouled out in the 4th. First time Fernando Rodriguez has ever faced Houston. He was drafted by the Angels in 03. He's from El Paso. High drive. Reddick over in right center field. 1 pitch, 1 out for Rodriguez. That was a hanger.
Right there in the wheelhouse. And Rodriguez, despite never having faced the Astros, 5 years now in the major leagues, 5-14 lifetime.
Ray Guy would have been proud of that hang time.
That would have been one of those. Which one of the stadiums was it that Guy would intentionally try to hit the scoreboard or the speakers or something up there?
Not sure, but he was serious at punting for the Oakland Raiders. Jason Castro 1 for 2. There's ball 1.
As I recall, he used to try to do that. He would get the kick over again, but it might have been Detroit where he was just trying to let everybody know they didn't build this ballpark big enough for me.
Wow. Castro takes. There's a strike from Fernando Rodriguez. The Astros signed him as a free agent after the 2010 season. He pitched for them in 2011 and 2012. Had Tommy John surgery in 2013. Gets a swing from Castro and takes the count to 1-2. A lot of people moved through here in 2011 and 2012. He had a 3.96 ERA in the first of those 2 years. Castro looks at it. It's 2-2. Fernando has walked 68 in 132 innings for his career coming into this season. The Indians lead the White Sox 2-1 in Chicago. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Trevor Bauer's on the mound against Jose Quintana. It's a shot on the ground, backhanded. Sogard. Another tough luck at bat for Castro.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Jonathan Villar is 0 for 2 in this game. A strikeout and a bouncer to first base. Altuve on deck. Villar looks at it. There's strike 1. Last night the Astros lost for only the 2nd time this year when they had a lead. No balls, 2 strikes. They didn't have much of a lead. It was 1-0 after 1. Then Oakland tied it in the 2nd and went ahead in the 6th in a 2-1 win. And the Oakland bullpen was terrific, but it has had major problems this year. 3-2 with a 4.89 ERA, highest ERA in the American League. Villar strikes out, and the Oakland bullpen run continues in this series. It's 3-2 after 6.
Oakland A's pitching stars of the 70s, Catfish Hunter. 4 All-Star appearances with the A's, a Cy Young winner in 1974, and 3 World Series championships. Catfish Hunter, as reliable as they came at that time. 10 seasons with the Athletics.
That was that 72 World Series in Cincinnati, which they won in Game 7.
He became a big Yankee star.
He got big money as a free agent to go to the Yankees.
They had a Catfish and a Blue Moon on that team. What else?
Well, I have to think about that, but they, they were encouraging players. Charlie Finley, the owner, encouraged them to have nicknames. So he's the one who nicknamed Catfish Jim Hunter. And it's Sam Fuld leading it off. No, they're going to have a pinch hitter for him, Mark Canha, because Tony Sipp has just entered the game for the Astros, 2-0 with a 0.59 ERA. So to get a right-handed batter at the plate for Fuld, it's Canha pinch hitting for Bob Melvin. And there is ball 1 for Tony Sipp. 17,575 the paid attendance tonight. Canha in his rookie season at 226 has 5 homers, 15 runs batted in. Got off to an excellent start. He's had 106 at bats, 0 for 4 pinch hitting. Sipp delivers to him, and there's a strike. 1-1. Roberto Hernandez is in line for a win with this 1-run lead. In 6 innings, he allowed 7 hits, 2 runs. He walked 2 and struck out 3. All 3 of those came in a row in the first inning after a leadoff walk to Crisp. Sipp delivers, and Canha takes ball 2. Roberto continues to be consistent. In his first start at Texas, April 11th, he went 4 2/3 innings. In every other start since then, he's gone at least 6. That's 7 in a row.
A lot of ball clubs would love to have that from their 4 and 5 guys.
I bet they would. Sipp gets strike 2 on Canha. Well, that's an excellent job by Hernandez against the club. 3rd in the league in runs scored. Kept that breaking ball down nicely. Sipp struck out all 3 batters he faced Saturday night in the 8th inning. That was against the Blue Jays, a predominantly right-handed hitting team. He got Martin Smoke and Colabello. Foul back. This club features some left-handed sluggers, especially Reddick and Vogt. So a lot of managers lean to the left side of their bullpen when facing this team in the late innings. Well, the batting average against Tony Sipp is 151. He's tougher on right-handed batters. They're hitting 111.
He just flat dominated last year, and he's continued the trend.
That's high. Oh, it's a high strike call, and Canha is rung up. 1 out.
We've talked about the new zones around the major leagues, or at least what is being called by major league umpires, and that's well within the framework.
Yeah, it's right there. Right at the mask of Castro. Sogard is 0 for 2. Billy Burns has already come off the bench to play the outfield in this game. Now Canha. So only 2 bench players are remaining. Greg Gentry and Josh Fegley, the backup catcher. Fly ball goes out to George Springer in right field. 2 down for Tony Sipp. This Astros bullpen is 111, lost 3 with a 2.15 ERA, second best in the American League. 15 saves for the Astros relievers. Luke Gregerson, the closer, is in the top 10 in saves, and the bullpen has worked together spectacularly. Billy Burns singled to left in the 5th inning. He stole a base, but he was stranded at 3rd base. Well, these relief pitchers have really been in sync with each other. One guy will pick up another if there are men left on base. They're stranded quite often. They protected leads extremely well. There's strike one on the off-speed pitch. Burns caught out in front. There is no automatic, but when they have a lead in the late innings, it's been close to that.
Yeah, the numbers would say it's been extremely lockdown-like.
16-1 when they lead after 6.
Yep.
In for a strike.
And that bullpen ERA at 2.15 at the start of play today. Kansas City at 1.60, brilliant, but then another half a run you have to drop down to go to the New York Yankees, who are third.
Burns watches ball one. Well, that Kansas City club won 3-0 tonight over Cincinnati in Kansas City. And once again, more Sterling relief from Herrera and Davis in support of Ventura. Broken bat looper to shallow center field. That's in for a hit for Burns. And a speedy runner is on with 2 outs. Marcus Semien coming up.
I would imagine the focus here is to run for Burns.
That would be the expectation.
Bat just splats. Boy, you can't hit it off any further off the end without just flaring it off to the side.
Burns had the stolen base in the 5th inning. He's measured a decent lead. And draws a sip throw. Semien singled, stole a base, and scored in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. The Nationals beat the Yankees in the 10th, 8-6. Nationals are rolling. Carter throws. Altuve is there, reaching back for the tag, safe at second base, and now he's out. It came off the base. Altuve kept the tag on it for a key out in this game. Burns initially was safe, but did not maintain contact with the base. Altuve went back to tag him again, and it's out number 3.
Jose Altuve due up, who snapped an 0 for 13 slump with a base hit back in the 5th. And talking to the hitting coach before the game about Altuve, Dave Hudgens said, you can tell he gets frustrated. This guy always has a hit. He hasn't even had an infield hit lately. And we're just talking about an 0 for 13. We've definitely seen guys struggle a lot longer than that. But for Altuve, just uncharacteristic. Altuve knew that the pitchers were trying to work him a little bit differently here lately. It was a balance between trying to stay aggressive but not become undisciplined so much and swing at pitches out of the zone. So that was something that he was thinking about coming into today. I'm sure he's feeling a lot better after getting that hit in the fifth, guys.
Thanks, Julia. Bottom of the 7th inning. The Astros lead it 3-2. Altuve got that hit in the 5th to snap that 0 for 13, as Julia mentioned. So he's 1 for 3 tonight. Astros have been out hit by the A's 8-7. That was a big out at second base. Altuve keeping the tag on the sliding Burns, who overslid the base. And now he will try to start something offensively with Valbuena and Springer to follow against Fernando Rodriguez. Mark Canha has stayed in the game in left field after pinch hitting for Sam Fold. That's fouled away and it's strike one.
Look at what Altuve does. Clearly Burns gets to the bag, but now keeping that glove on, Burns comes off the bag, and that's a good call at the bag. It's also very nice work by Jose to persevere on the play.
Excellent work. So often that does not happen. Crack bad roller to third. Brad Lawrie throwing across his body and safe at first. He bounced the throw, couldn't get a lot on it. Altuve hustles it into a hit. He's 2 for 4.
Brad Lawrie does not like to plant a foot and try to make a strong throw. He'll throw on the run as often as given the chance. And Jose Altuve takes advantage right here. And I think had this ball been caught at first base, Jose may have beaten it anyway. Right here, can you plant your foot and throw? No, you just keep moving into foul territory. And yeah, Jose may have beaten the play. Look at him dig out of the box. Can really move it.
He's a blur. Hit number 8 for the Astros. Valbuena the batter. He has a single and a walk. Scored a run. Altuve draws the throw. Fernando typically takes a while to get the ball to home plate. So this is a running situation. But Valbuena's a pull hitter, and he can yank one through the right side of the infield as well. That's ball 1. Chad Qualls is working in the Houston bullpen. Ryan Zimmerman hit a walk-off homer to give Washington a win with a man on in the bottom of the 10th off lefty Andrew Miller. I believe that's the first runs Miller has given up all year. He and Dellin Betances have been a lock in that Yankee bullpen, but Miller drew the loss tonight. Mark Teixeira hit his 12th homer. There goes Altuve. Folks throw right on the money. He's safe. He got in with stolen base number 15.
I was saying earlier that I'd love to see Altuve and Burns run side by side. Those quick little choppy steps, or maybe not choppy, just fast. And Altuve, look at him go. And he's instantly in full speed.
Bob Melvin is coming out to the home plate umpire. I believe they're going to. Well, let's see now. He has used his manager's challenge earlier in this game. He's going to go over to the first base umpire, Jerry Meals, the crew chief. So he really doesn't have a challenge, but he can ask.
Well, you know, this amounts to a challenge. If the umpires weren't going to take a look at this on their own, the manager asked them to do it. I don't see what the difference is.
Well, he can ask. In this case, they are going to take a look at it. A.J. Hinch is coming out, too.
So what's the problem with early in the game taking a shot at a challenge if you can come out and ask the umpires to take a look?
Right. Well, after the 6th inning, the umpires can take it upon themselves to review close plays.
But see, and that's my point. The umpires didn't take it upon themselves. It took the urging of the manager.
Right. But they are going along with that.
Is he out or safe? He's out. I think Jose is going to lose the bag. You know what I saw right there? Not only a throw that was in a good spot, but a very quick release.
It is ruled out upon review. The call is overturned.
Stephen Vogt got rid of that ball in a heartbeat.
He did. That's a big play, just as the play in the top of the inning was with Altuve tagging Burns. So 2 close calls there on stolen base tries at second come into play in the same inning.
What it looks like full speed. You know, it used to be when you'd see an infielder tag a guy on the hip or down toward the leg, he was almost always called safe.
Paul Amo made the safe call. Now the 2-0 is ball 3 to Balbuena. George Springer on deck. The Astros still looking for insurance, up by 1. The Oakland 2, 3, 4 hitters are due up in the 8th. It's in for a strike, 3-1. One more note on that Washington win in the 10th over the Yankees. Bryce Harper hit his 15th home run, the National League leader. It's a nice pace, a quarter through the season.
Watch out, babe.
It's on a 60 home run pace. Balbuena with a big cut, 3-2.
I guess you don't really go after Babe in 162 games. You go after Roger, right?
Yeah. Well, you can go after Babe.
But you have to do it in 154 to,
well, that's true,
to not have an asterisk.
Good point. Balbuena strikes out, and this inning is blowing up in the Astros' face now with George Springer following. 2 punch outs for Rodriguez. Springer has walked twice and he's fly to right. The Yankees with their loss are still 4 games over 500. 22-18 is their record. A very tight grouping in the AL East. They had a 1-game lead over Tampa Bay coming into the game tonight. Tampa Bay now tied for the lead because the Rays won in Atlanta 5-3 in interleague play. Strike to Springer. That Tampa Bay club has been pretty surprising this year.
Look at some of their offensive numbers. They're not that good either, and they have been a big surprise.
1 ball, 1 strike. The rookie manager, Kevin Cash. There's the way it looks. Dead heat at the top. Red Sox only 2.5 back despite not pitching well at all. And it's the Orioles and the Blue Jays.
Quarter of the season, who would you pick to win that division?
Tough pick. Semien takes care of the 3rd out. We go to the 8th, 3-2 Astros.
Orbit on social media and tag the Astros in your cable or satellite provider and use the hashtag #WhereIsOrbit. Head to astros.com/whereIsOrbit for more info. Well, I took some pictures with Orbit today. Look how cute we are, everybody.
Hey.
That's us.
Where was that?
It was upstairs at the club level. There was a photo booth going on. That bottom picture, I don't know if my fiance would be very happy about
We won't tell him about that.
Life behind the hat there in the 3rd picture. Huh?
We're telling secrets.
We'll protect you on that one, Julia. Colby Rasmus has moved to left field. And Jake Marisnick has checked into center field with the Astros leading 3-2. Chad Qualls also a replacement in this game. He takes over on the mound. Tony Sipp in the 7th. Allowed 1 hit, no runs, had a strikeout. Qualls 1-2 with a 3.14 ERA for 16 games, 4 saves. And he faces Semien, who's 1 for 3. Delivering strike 1. Reddick is on deck. Butler due up third. These Oakland left-handed hitters gave Chad Qualls particular problems last year. He worked a perfect 8th inning Friday night. 3 groundouts against Toronto. That slider stays up. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Great strikeout ratio for Chad Qualls. 17 and 14 in a third innings. 10.67 strikeouts per 9. The batting average against him is 180.
I think that second pitch was closer to the strike zone than at first glance it might have appeared.
Oh yeah?
Just a hunch. That kind of high and rangy outside area.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Is that a strike? There you go.
Where he caught it.
And it gets overlooked time and time again.
Except by you.
Oh well.
That's a roller. VR hurrying, transfers, fires, and Carter stretches for the big out. Number 1 on Semien.
Well, there's a lot going on that's being done right there by Jonathan VR. And by the way, Chris Carter has played a nice first base. It's not a perfect throw, but it's pretty darn close to perfect in terms of technically getting that work done at shortstop.
Big defensive improvement in this club.
I'm going to bet you the Astros coaching staff is thrilled with that footwork and everything that went on.
They put in a lot of work on this.
Big man down at first base has been better than advertised.
Without him, that play is not an out. Josh Reddick is 1 for 3. People take first baseman for granted, right?
I think they do. A lot of people think because guys end their careers there that it's easy. You can just go grab the glove and play there. Not so.
Reddick with 3 for 6 numbers against Qualls. He bounces one. The shift is on. Here's some miscommunication perhaps, but VR gets it. Looked like maybe Altuve started and then he pulled back and VR covered it to his left. An easier play for him by far. The pitching matchup is presented by Chevron. Care for your car. We look to a day game tomorrow. It's Jesse Hahn and it's Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel's second in the American League in ERA when the night started at 1.87 to Sonny Gray. But we'll update Sonny's ERA with tonight's numbers. Let you know. He's still second.
What a grind every game can be, and therefore every series. And hang on and win tonight's game and throw Dallas out there tomorrow, and you got a chance to win another one of those series.
Billy Butler takes, and there's ball 1 to him. Gray in 5 innings allowed 7 hits, 3 runs tonight with 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Sonny's updated ERA is 1.92, so at this time Dallas is the ERA leader. Fouled away, and it's 1-1. Well, you know, a pitcher like Qualls, who's a ground ball guy, really needs to have plays made behind him, and we've seen 2 good plays made behind him in this inning.
Yeah, imagine this inning with Jonathan VR having the difficulties he had the last couple of years, especially playing at shortstop. You set up a chance for the A's to maybe even take the lead here in this 8th inning. Otherwise, now it's first 2 guys out.
That's a big difference. In the dirt. 2-1. This coaching staff is really solid. Rich Dower, the infield coach, has done quality work, and there's been a noticeable improvement in the defensive work. It's a ground ball staff, and this club has not made too many critical errors this year. That's in for a strike. 2-2. A lot of people are looking for reasons why the Astros are where they are with the best winning percentage in the American League, and there are several. One of them is the pitchers have not beaten themselves with walks. Another one is better defensive support behind them.
Is it possible that it's really true that pitching and defense go hand in hand?
Swing and a miss and a strikeout for Qualls. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 3-2 Houston. Are even at 8. Our Honda League leaders show you the Astros on offense. They're 4th in walks, 2nd in steals, 1st in homers with 58. Extra bases on hits. That means a guy going 1st to 3rd on a single. They are 2nd in stretching those bases. And an isolated power, they are 2nd at 186.
I don't know. It's easier to just look at the standings and say, wow, I love where they're at.
Yeah, that is easier.
I mean, you have to think on this other stuff,
yeah,
right?
You've got to work on it. Got to grind it a little bit. Crunch some numbers. Gaddis is 2 for 3 with an RBI. You don't want to crunch, that's fine. There's strike one.
I can safely say I haven't done a crunch in years.
Well, that kind of crunch, okay. Captain crunch, maybe.
Well, yeah. You have been spying.
Swing and a foul tip makes it 0-2. 3rd inning of work for Fernando Rodriguez, and it's gone well for him. He's given up just an infield hit to Altuve. He was erased on a caught stealing. The Astros would love to lead by more than 1 going to the 9th when Vogt, Muncy, and Loria do up. This one hangs into right center field. Sogard all the way out and calling in front of Reddick. Now he gets out of his way. 1 out. Well, this ought to really help Bob Melvin if Rodriguez can finish out the 8th inning as far as tomorrow's game is concerned. Now Jake Marisnick. He entered the game as a defensive replacement in center field. Preston Tucker had started the game in this number 5 spot in the order. Preston 0 for 3. And Marisnick, the rangy one in center, checks in with a .292 batting average for 113 at bats. He has 3 homers, 15 runs batted in. Colby Rasmus is on deck. There is ball 1. Fernando Abad is working again in the Oakland pen in case reinforcements are needed. One ball, 1 strike to Marisnick. Phillies 3, Rockies 3. They're in the top of the 7th at Coors Field. Aaron Harang is pitching for Philadelphia. And when missing, takes the count to a 2-ball, 1 strike offering on Marisnick. Luke Gregerson is the Astros closer. Things are set up for him in the 9th. He's getting ready right now. That sails high, and it's a 3-ball 1-strike count now. These two teams played a 1-run affair last night. Oakland taking it 2-1. There's the former Oakland Athletic, Gregerson. Oakland had not won more than 1-run game this year. They were 1-13. Took that one last night. The Astros are 10-3 in 1-run affairs. There's a 1-out walk, and Marisnick might turn that into more. He could steal a base.
Kick off your weekends at Minute Maid Park on Friday nights with the best fireworks show in town, presented by Marathon Oil Corp. The next fireworks show is Friday, May 29th, when the Astros take on the White Sox. For more information, visit astros.com/fireworks or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Bob Melvin's making a change. He's swinging to the left side of his bullpen for Fernando Abad, another former Astro. Fernando Rodriguez coming out after 2 1/3 innings of excellent work. The Astros lead at 3-2. We'll be right back. Is presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. The Astros lead at 3-2 here at Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston. Next to last game of the homestand, Fernando Abad will be pitcher number 3 for Bob Melvin tonight. Fernando Rodriguez had walked Jake Marisnick, and now it's lefty on lefty as Rasmus comes up against the former Astro Abad.
Was that somebody's hit chart we were just looking at?
Yeah, it was.
That played a lot of years, I'm going to guess.
Either that or the Milky Way. Fernando Abad is 0-2 with a 5.91 ERA, Ash.
And that whip at 1.5 says he's been having a bit of a struggle.
Colby Rasmus wouldn't mind contributing to more struggles. He has a double in 3 at-bats. Marisnick, the runner at first. Might find the lefty Abad tough to read for a stolen base try. Carter's on deck. And the main objective here would be to get Chris to the plate, of course, in this inning. But also to avoid a double play would be a nice objective. So they keep an eye on Marisnick. And another throw goes over. Abad is 29 years old. He's from the Dominican Republic. The Astros signed him originally in 2002. He pitched for them in 2010, 11, and 12. And then moved along through free agency to Washington. Strike one to Rasmus. He has pitched 4 times already against the Astros this season with an ERA of 0.
Not sure there was any detectable stop on that previous pitch.
Okay. Yeah, just kind of a pause, isn't it?
Where are you assuming the stop is? Up by the letters or down at the waistband?
Good point. Well, you can't stop twice, right?
Right. Well, maybe that's enough of a pause for.
Could be.
Umpire satisfaction.
But they don't want to bounce. They want to actually stop.
Thing is, if he actually stops up at the letters, once he moves, you can go.
This one's a high flyer to right. Colby Rasmus, 2-run homer. 5-2 Astros on the 0-2 pitch to Rasmus. Number 8. 2 more bombs for the Astros tonight. Both 2-run shots. They have 59 home runs. A walk and a 2-run homer, an instant rally.
Ooh, that does a lot for the ball club. Not to mention for Colby Rasmus, who does it against the left-hander. Play me at all times. That's big stuff.
And now it's a 3-run lead with Chris Carter batting. Carter rocked a 2-run homer in the second. He's 1 for 3. That is strike 1 to him. Rasmus delivers off the lefty. That's Colby's second home run off a left-hander this season.
2 more long balls tonight. What do the Astros do when they hit 2 home runs in a ball game?
They win.
Just win, baby.
1-1. Carter swings at it. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. Close the books now on Rodriguez. Fernando in 2 1/3 innings. Allowed 1 hit, 1 run. With 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. The run represented by Marisnik was charged to him. Off the plate for ball 2, and it's 2-2. What a difference that makes for Luke Gregerson now. Lion's share of his saves have been in 1-run ball games, but now he has working room. Foul back. James Shields of the Padres is pitching at home against the Cubs tonight. It's 2-0 Cubs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Shields has given up 2 homers. Dexter Fowler hit his 4th. Chris Coghlan is 5th. Shields has given up more homers than any other major league pitcher, 14 this year. 3-2.
He's kind of today's catfish hunter a little bit. A guy that gives up a lot of home runs.
True.
And yet wins a lot.
Yeah. Jason Hamill has 3 no-hit innings in the books against San Diego. Foul back. Well, the Chicago Cubs are the only team to strike out more than the Astros this year, right?
By about a handful or so in that range, yes.
Okay. So the Chicago Cubs record is 21-16. The Astros are 25-14.
I think I get where you're going there. If you want to win ball game. Oh, no, that can't be right.
Fly ball to center field. Burns waiting. And that is out number 2. Rasmus really has found a home here.
Colby, you big muscular hero, you.
High pitch, Ash.
Yeah, he takes the high cheese from the left-hander. He's ready for it. He's got a unique way of getting the head out, wrapping it around, and turning it into a long ball.
He's that wiry, strong guy.
How many angles have we got? Let's watch every one of the angles on Colby's bomb. I love it.
We'll see as many as we have. Now Jason Castro. He's 1 for 3. Ball 1 to Castro.
Yeah, you're right. Colby is the wiry, strong guy. You look at him, there's no way you would think power hitter.
No. In for a strike to Castro. 1 ball, 1 strike. Astros 16-11 within their division this year. 2-1, and they have served notice around the AL West that they're going to be reckoned with to the quarter pole of the season. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dodgers and Giants, with the latest edition of their rivalry, are in the bottom of the 3rd at San Francisco and no score. Frias against Hudson. Giants really came alive when they swept a 3-game series from the Dodgers. They were pretty bad until then.
Back in spring training, Bruce Bochy, I think, said something to the effect of they've done nothing well.
That accurately summed it up. 2-2. Boch is a pretty honest guy.
Yeah, he is, and you've got to have the respect to the players for them to not grumble away the rest of the year when a manager says that.
True. Right field, down the line. Castro gets into it. Castro has joined the home run parade. That's another 3-home-run game for the Major League leading Astros. That's their 60th long ball in their 40th game. 6-2. Number 5 for Castro.
Couple of lefties v lefty here in the inning for the long ball. Wow.
Two for 4 for Castro. Pitching change for Bob Melvin. 4-run lead for the Astros. We'll be right back. Castro first.
Gets the breaking ball, but he just stays down with his head and upper body right through the baseball. Look at him stay through it. Out in front. But it's a weird thing about on breaking balls, you get out in front and get full extension, and if you square it up, it just goes forever. Or at least until they allow you to jog around the bases.
Yeah. Angel Castro has been in the minors for 10 seasons. Finally reaching the big leagues this year. He was brought up from AAA Nashville May 8th. This is his 3rd big league appearance. And that was fouled by Jonathan Villar. Strike 1. Villar is 0 for 3. Castro is from the Dominican Republic. He's been in 6 different major league organizations. There's a foul ball, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. He's made 166 career minor league appearances. The Angels won. Santiago, the winner over the Toronto Blue Jays. Sanchez today, 3-2. Houston Street got saved, number 13. That puts the Angels back to a game over 500. The Astros need a win to stay 5.5 games in the lead. Ground ball right side and into right field. A hit for VR. He's had a solid game defensively. Now he gets a knock.
You just made the point that was running through my head. Jonathan VR plays games like this, and he's going to be hard at some point to keep out of the lineup.
True.
Now, right now, I think there are question marks as to who is the regular shortstop on the club. But yeah, he has played well tonight.
That's 11 Houston hits. Jose Altuve has a couple of those, 2 for 4 tonight. Back on the climb. He's come up 5 points to 321 during this game. Fouls that one for strike 1. How does 26 and 14 sound in the first 40 games?
It sounds like a number I wouldn't have even given you a chance at coming out of spring training.
There's a shot to center field. Burns moving over. Well, we'll see if they finish it, because they have added to their lead here in the 8th inning with 2 more long balls. Colby Rasmus, a 2-run shot, then a solo swing by Jason Castro. 6-2 Houston. Played by Castro, Ash.
Certainly were. And one of them really took a great dig by Castro to come up with the throw from VR. And it was a good throw, but a tough one for a catcher to come up with. Then the big swing from Chris Carter, a key RBI hit. And that by Evan Gattis. And then you start slamming away in the 8th inning. Big home run. Colby Rasmus, that just turns it around. Jason Castro adds insurance. And the guys are just having fun at that point.
Castro, with that homer, has moved into 3rd place ahead of Brad Ausmus on home runs by a Houston catcher in their career. Now it's Luke Gregerson with a 6-2 lead. No save at stake here. He's 2-0 with a 3.18 ERA. And Houston is 17-0 when he goes out. Stephen Vogt, the batter, he's 0 for 3. And it's ball 1. Chad Qualls had a 1-2-3-8 with a strike.
I can just hear the thinking on that by some. Well, then why don't they just put him in every game?
Yeah.
Okay,
Gregerson is up.
Okay, that was me thinking. Sorry.
That's okay. 2-0. No Houston team has come out of the gate 26-14 in its first 40 games. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now it's 3-1 for Gregerson. Gregerson pitched a scoreless inning Sunday in the 4-2 win, picking up his 10th save of the year. Gave up 2 singles in that inning. Now it's a leadoff walk to Vogt, and Muncy will be next.
Well, it's not the way you want to start your ninth inning.
That's the third walk for Houston pitching tonight. Roberto Hernandez is in line for his second win of the season. Sipp and Qualls have preceded Gregerson to the mound. And now it's Muncy. Muncy homered in the 6th off Hernandez. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. The Astros, with 3 more homers tonight, have hit 60. They've hit 10 against Oakland in the season series. There is strike 1. Now we get to multiply numbers times 4, with this being the quarter pole mark of the season, right? Or do you do that?
I'm going to do the multiply by 2 thing. I'm going to leave the 4 to you.
1-1. Home run pace. Jose Altuve has 5. He's on a pace for 20. He hit 7 last year. Chris Carter has hit 7. He's on a pace for 28. Jason Castro has 5. Luis Valbuena, the club leader, has 10. He's on a 40 home run pace. Fly ball left field. Rasmus backing. Now it's off the wall, and Marisnik comes over to play it. That's a double. And the A's stir up trouble. Trailing by 4. They have 2 men on, nobody out on a Muncy double, his 3rd.
One more base runner, and they bring the tying run to the plate. Got a fat pitch to hit. I mean, there's just no way around it. Hits a fly ball far enough to get off that scoreboard.
Muncy has stirred up trouble for Gregerson now, and it's Brett Lawrie batting. He's 2 for 3. Mark Canha on deck. The A's have banged out 9 hits. The Astros have 11. There's strike 1 for Gregerson, former Oakland pitcher. George Springer's hit 6 homers, putting him on pace for 24. Colby Rasmus has 8. 4 times 8, 32. That's a nice pace. Foul back. Well, some people do that after 40 games, Ash. They look at totals and project. How often do you think that comes true?
I would imagine no more than about 70-75%.
You are a funny man.
Well, it's a fun thing to do. I mean, it kind of tells you what they've done pace-wise early on.
Yeah.
But it's just not reality, and we all know it. Chris Carter's going to hit more than 28 home runs.
You know it. I know it. The American people know it. 0-2 to Lawrie. In the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Gregerson. It's been quite a ride here these first 40 games, though. Fans have really gotten into it. It's a lot of fun to watch this club this season. And through it all, the pitching has been steady. Gregerson pitched 72 times for Oakland last year. Line shot, that'll get a run home, a single to left field. That makes it 6-3. 3 straight have reached here in the Oakland 9th inning. Lawrie picking up his 3rd hit of the night. That's his 16th run batted in.
And you may still be breathing easy, but again now with that base runner, the tying run comes to the plate.
And with that, Brent Strom comes out. And certainly the idea is for Gregerson to have a quick 9th inning, seal it down, and then be available for tomorrow. But this is not going well.
I think that's just a settle down moment. I think the last thing you talk about there is mechanics or any sort of philosophy. And then you've got the other issue. Do you warm somebody up behind your closer?
Right. That can be unnerving sometimes. Evan Scribner is warming up for Oakland. He pitched 2 innings last night. Mark Canha struck out looking in the 7th inning, facing Tony Sipp. He was pinch hitting for Sam Fuld. Runners at first and third with nobody out, and Oakland down by 3 now. The potential tying run is at the plate in Canha. Pat Neshek has begun to throw for Houston. That's ball 1. Canha picked up 4 runs batted in this year in his major league debut April 8th. He hit 20 home runs for AAA New Orleans last year. Oakland got him in a trade from Colorado. That's a foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gregerson has had saves in each of his last 6 outings. In one of those, he gave up 2 runs in 1 inning to Seattle, but got the save 4-3. And he gave up 2 runs in the 6-5 save over Toronto 3 days ago on a pinch homer by Edwin Encarnacion. 2 balls and a strike. But how many closers have you seen who have used all the rope that they've had? It happens all the time.
I was trying to think of some names, but that may be unfair. But guys that make you nervous but bring home the W's.
Boods writes a note with Valverde on it.
I think that's fair.
He did. Still got the final out. Swing and a miss. And it's 2-2.
Jose Veras had some of those moments as well.
Yeah, he tested the limits of closing games, and many have down through the years.
Who was the guy that became known as 6-pack or 2-pack? I guess it was
Don Stanhouse.
Don Stanhouse, because his manager had to smoke 2 packs of cigarettes to get through the 9th inning.
Earl Weaver with Baltimore. Good call, Don Stanhouse. Foul ball keeps the count at 2-2. Yeah, but it could impact the next game, being the day game tomorrow. If Gregerson has to throw a lot of pitches here. And he's thrown 18 so far, with 10 being strikes. Nonetheless, the thought of having a series deciding game tomorrow pretty appealing to Houston after losing last night 2-1. Canha shoots one, and VR gets in front of it, fires to Altuve. Rhett Carter, double play, another run scores. But that was well done. 6-4-3. Now 6-4 game, no RBI on the double play.
Well, let's go ahead and bring up the name of Jonathan VR once again. He gets a double play, a key one started. And because of the double play, you not only have a couple of outs in the inning now, but now that tying runner is not at the plate. That's just big time play.
His feet were set for the throw, and he got it off quickly.
He did nothing spectacular there, unless spectacular is doing it exactly right.
Excellent point. Eric Sogard is the batter. Sogard's 0 for 3. Billy Burns on deck. There's strike 1 for Gregerson. "11 hits for Houston, 10 hits for Oakland. No errors in the game tonight. In the dirt, 1-1. So if this game ends the way it is right now, Oakland will end its string of errors in 15 consecutive games. Fans are really starting to catch on to this Astros team, which is trying to make it a 6-2 record for the homestand. Two balls and a strike. This could be 23 wins in the last 32 games. Now it runs to 3-1.
You remember the first time the Oakland A's came into Houston, they took the first two in the series. The Astros managed to salvage a game in that 3-game set. And it was kind of at that point that things got spun around.
Yeah, they were kind of scuffling at the time, weren't they? They weren't hitting. That's a walk. And the A's still have life. Sogard takes the stroll with Burns coming up. Burns has come off the bench to go 2 for 2 in this game. Semien is on deck. A.J. Hinch out, and he's going to get Gregerson out of this game after 24 pitches. And Pat Neshek will replace him in just a moment with the score 6-4 Houston. Game. He got 2 of them on the double play, allowing 2 hits, and he's walked 2. So he comes out now in favor of Pat Neshek, and for Neshek it will be a save situation with the potential tying run at the plate, and Billy Burns, a runner at first base in this 6-4 game. Neshek 3-0 with a 2.93 ERA, 10 holds, and good career numbers against Oakland. He does not have a save with the Astros this season, but he has been a part of those wins we talked about with the 10 holds. He's gotten 3 W's himself. He faces Burns. Generally, you like to get Neshek to drop down, sidearm, slinging right-hander to face the right-handed bats. Burns a switch hitter, so that doesn't impact him. Neshek worked a perfect 8th inning Sunday against Oakland for his 9th hold of the year. Against Toronto, rather. And did not pitch in last night's game. Buena's on the grass at third. There's strike 1 for Neshek. Semien on deck. Neshek worked an inning and 2/3 in a game here against Oakland back in mid-April. He gets a swing and a foul ball. 0-2, and in a game back in late April, April 24th, they gave up a 2-run homer to Semien in the 11th inning. Semien on deck right now. These fans ready for Neshek to put out the lights, but Oakland has shown some fight here, scoring 2 runs in the 9th. Swing tip, and he got him to end it. Neshek picks up his first save as an Astro, number 7 of his career, and the Astros have their best 40-game start in club history, 26-14. Quite an unexpected finish, and then the 8th inning is the one we now look back at for the Astros. When they got those 3 runs, they came in very handy here in the 9th, Ash.
Playing long ball once again, and 3 home runs on the night. Obviously crucial, solid defense. Jonathan Villar kind of at the heart of that defensive side for the ball club tonight, and Jason Castro also with those tags at home plate.
3 hours and 21 minutes of baseball. The Astros win it, and they are 6-2 on the homestand. Back in a moment.